Welcome back, Forgers, to the Lucky Die in Kino. Previously, Greff gets an offer to visit Freedom's Bluff, Ivoris frees a dragon, Kith utilizes their mushroom magic, and Tawree learns about the threat menacing their world. In the Forge of the World, more than steel is struck as the team negotiates with a dragon, a demon, a caretaker, and each other, to get the various challenges and tasks set before them completed. As they believe their goals are accomplished, Adnoth sends a desperate message from the other side of the desert. Could Tawree really be a dragon slayer? Was releasing Daruk a net benefit for the world? And is that really Adnoth crawling across the desert in the distance? I guess we're about to find out. Welcome back to the Lucky Die in Kino. The sun is beginning to set across the desert. It's the end of day 68-ish. And looking across in the far distance, the four of you can see 3 figures. 2 of them fairly small, one slightly taller, kind of half crawling, half dragging, half standing and stumbling their way down a dune quite far off in the distance. What do you want to do?
Scan the horizon. Is there somebody following them? Is there somebody watching them?
Take a perception check, please.
That would be a 20, dirty 20.
A filthy 20.
Mm-hmm.
You're quite some distance off. You see that there is kind of like the sand behind them is beginning to stir up. Like if they're off in the distance and you see animals moving around, you can see the dust going up into the air, or the sand going up into the air. You see that some distance off behind them, maybe, and that is that it could just be wind. You're not really sure.
All right. I think there's somebody following them. I can see somebody in the distance or something. But it's been days. I don't believe that she's genuinely been just running for days. It feels off.
Are we sure that these are the people you're looking for?
Scree!
Just to note, we had a quick discussion before we started, which is that Kaz has been using 4th level spells for polymorph and using all of their wild shapes so that they can increase their speed to get here quicker. I believe that scree kind of means that you're currently an eagle.
I would assume so. I could be an eagle for 8 hours total, so.
Okay, we'll assume right now that Kaz is an eagle.
Which means y'all need to be yelling because we're fucking up in the air.
You're not perching on Greff's shoulder or something?
He's a
Does he need a break?
Big old
Oh wait,
eagle.
you're a giant eagle.
Giant. I'm
you
not
could all have
a little.
landed. when you'll have spotted off in the distance, you could have landed. It would be easy enough.
Yeah.
I'm not leaving my wild shape.
No.
Nope, you can stay. That's fine.
Scree!
Let's say you have another hour left on that. That seems about fair, right?
Sure.
Because it's beginning to be sundown. Yeah. All right.
Okay. I think we should approach on foot for the rest of the distance. But Cass, if you stay in the air and just keep an eye out and regroup with us if something's really fucking wrong.
There's a brief pause, and then you just see the birders start shaking their head up and down a whole bunch.
So
Just say screech.
birds can look up and down, but not left. Wait. No, was that?
I peck your head.
Dogs.
Ah, shit. Okay, fine. Sorry. Yeah. I want to go forward with that plan if nobody has a better plan.
That seems
or
safer.
A plan.
Okay.
All right. Then in that case...
The three of you on foot continue with Kaz high above. Kaz, I believe that your flying speed is probably faster than their walking. Do you want to scout ahead?
Yeah, I think Kith would probably fly like really high up in the air, just enough so that like if someone looks up, they wouldn't be able to tell that it's a giant eagle. They would just think it's some sort of like scavenger bird or something.
Yeah.
And then just probably like kind of do circles.
Mm-hmm.
Make it look like, oh, maybe there's a dead carcass somewhere that, something like that.
Okay.
And just kind of keeping an eye ahead and on the group.
Waiting for Adilov to give up the ghost.
Her just like right there, you're like 3 seconds from saving her life. Like, no, that would be a dick move. As you fly ahead and begin to circle around, you see that area that Greff had noticed of the extra sand going off in the distance that seems to be following them, but there doesn't appear to be any reason for it. There's no footprints, there's no animal tracks, there's no animals or people that appear to be following. It's just sand that has probably just been kicked up by small localized winds. That's your assumption. Or correction, that's what you see. You circling around above the three people that are still kind of crawling their way. You can see that two of them are obviously goblins. You can see that one is definitely Adilov. You recognize kind of like the red scarf that she has around her neck. You can also see a very tall, older, lanky, a much taller, older, lanky-looking, red-skinned tiefling. You may or may not know who this is. That's entirely up to you. And you also see next to them, who seems to have gone through the wars. There's a lot of damage to them. You can see their legs and their arm has been splintered. They are also crawling, but they seem to be dragging at least the tiefling along. And they are also a goblin.
I don't recognize the description of the tiefling.
The tiefling is a red-skinned tiefling. Those of you in the know would recognize him as Baracus, which would be the at least former, maybe current leader of Kino.
And they're all crawling, like broken legs crawling or hiding crawling?
If you swoop down to do a much closer see of that, you can see that the goblin that you don't really recognize, you can see that their leg is splintered and you can see that their arm is definitely in a sling, but they seem to have tenacity to keep going, and they seem to be pulling the tiefling along. The tiefling themselves just seem to be in really bad shape. You can see that they have a lot of dried blood around their chest and up around their face, and they just seem to be crawling. They are just exhausted, and Adilov seems to be in the same point of view. You can see that she's looking up and a little bit more aware than either of the others, who just seem to be pushing forward as if that's their only goal in life right now. But Adilov seems to be a little bit more aware of her surroundings, but she too is just exhausted.
Okay. In that case, then Kith's going to stay above doing circles until the group convenes with them.
Okay. The three of you are basically, let's say, within spitting distance, if you know what I mean. You're pretty close to them. You're not right on top of them. You see the three of them getting much closer, and just as you're kind of at that shouting range, you see Adilov look up, and she sees the three of you walking towards her. And she just kind of you see half a smile crack on her face, and then she kind of helps the tiefling and the other goblin kind of get to their feet, and you can just see from the expression, most of them have very cracked and dried lips. They seem to be all very weary. They seem to be have fasted a lot over the last few days, as if they've gone without food for a very long time. They all just stripped down as much as they can in the extreme heat that is around them. What do you want to do?
Greff is gonna start rushing towards them once they've noticed us.
Yep. I think Tawree would first keep some distance, but then as soon as she realized that it's safe, would take out the water skin out of her bags and start offering it to them.
Okay. Both the goblins immediately turn your water away from you and try and give it, make sure that the tiefling between them, Baracus, has the first sips of water. And you can see that now you're much closer to him. He has a lot of injuries around his throat, and you can see there's a lot of bandages and wrappings that should have been replaced a long time ago. He's clearly gone through a lot of trauma. You can definitely see that they all require this water, but once they see Baracus safe and they sit him down, you can see the other two kind of just collapse next to him and just eagerly take that water.
Okay, here's water. Let me go into my backpack. I think I have some leftover food. Yeah. Here you go. And Greff starts distributing it. And then when he's done, he's like, all right, what are you doing in the desert?
Does he need healing?
You can see that he opens his mouth to try and speak, but this comes out like a really raspy, scratchy sound and immediately starts coughing. Edenlove puts her hand on his shoulder and she turns to you and she just very quietly croaks out, yes, he suffered. They tried to kill him in the middle of the night. He needs a lot of help.
Okay. Ivoris does his healing light, so he doesn't get close. He doesn't have to. He does his healing light ability and uses 5d6s.
Damn. As you cast this light forward towards them, it's this kind of strange ethereal purple-ish light that goes out towards them, and you can see that it hits Baracus in the chest and the neck area, and you can see that he already begins to brighten up a little bit, and you can see him be able to move his jaw a lot more freely than he could just now. You can you realize that he's testing it, when you get clicks and cricks in your jaw and you just need to click it out, he's doing that. He's now experiencing that kind of bit again, and you can see that he takes away the bandages and the covers and wrappings over his throat, and you can see that there is a very deep scar that seems to be running across.
Okay. Does that seem to have been proportionally pretty decent healing?
Yes, that was significantly good healing compared to what he was. You can tell that it was clearly a very deep and a very potentially infecting wound because of the very deep scar that gets left behind, which isn't necessarily that normal with strong magic. If you use good healing magic on it, that stuff will disappear. But this was clearly a major wound, and probably still is. But he looks brighter and he can throw these down. He very carefully gets himself to his feet and he nods in your direction.
Yeah, Ivoris nods back.
Adlov looks at you, Greff, but she then kind of moves her eyes over to Ivoris and what she assumes is Kaz. And she says, we have to get out of this area. There's we were making our way towards one of the caches that Red Knight knows of, close-ish to here, we think. We have to get there.
If you can describe it, we have a airborne friend that can probably spot it from a distance.
She again looks at you and then looks back at the two, and then she looks back at the two tabaxi and she says, as far as I can, there should be a building. It's fairly large stone walls that look out of place here. It should be overgrown with plants and cacti. And she looks over at the other goblin and they just simply nod.
Does that sound like the thing we just came from?
No.
Okay.
Would we have seen it while flying earlier?
Roll a d20.
Passive investigation.
Oh, okay, sure. What's your passive investigation
No, not
numbers?
me.
Sure. Why the fuck? I don't care. Just roll a d20.
Yeah.
Am I understanding correctly that Adnalov mistakes Tawree for Kaz?
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
goddammit. Yeah, it's a 2.
Oh, no. It's a big
no,
fat no.
It's a valid assumption.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
She's never seen Kaz in any other form, or many other forms. This is just new. No, you haven't seen it. The other goblin, who now you're much closer, you notice is kind of wearing this very dark red armor. You could mistake it for dried blood, but it's clearly like dark red. And with their unslung, unbandaged arm, they point in a direction that's kind of off to the east. You can see that like their trajectory, they were kind of heading towards it, maybe in the direction that they're pointing, which was kind of a little bit at odds to where you were heading towards.
Yeah. What is following you?
We think agents of Kells, whatever it is that she is lined up with. Ivoris, could you just help me along, or help Red Knight here? We need to get going as soon as possible. The place that Red Knight told me about, they should be protected from scrying and teleporting. We need to get there before they get much closer or decide to use that sort of magics. I fear we've put you in danger.
Does Adilov and the other one appear to need like proportional healing to?
Not massively. I mean, it looks like Red Knight, the other goblin, seems to be like dealing. They have a splint around their leg. You can clearly see at some point it was broken, but it's probably healing a lot more now. You don't exactly know what's wrong with their arm, but it is in a sling. You can see Adilov, no matter how much healing you're doing, she's still missing a hand, my friend. But she just looks more exhausted than anything else.
All right. Greff's gonna like look at the Red Knight, I think is what the goblin has been called. And just like, okay, I can carry one or two of you. Your armor, though, does look quite heavy, and you look like you need help walking.
You can see that they nod, and then they say, we would appreciate that.
Greff just leans down so that he can like kind of like just attach himself to his back or to his shoulder, however the guy wants to do it.
They basically just meander over. You can see them hobbling. They seem to have gotten a bit of a stride. They seem to have figured out how they're doing this. And they basically just like put their hand like on the kind of like the lower part of your back, and just hold on very tightly to whatever piece of armor they can get hold of. Like, we think this should be all right.
All right. Well, let's hustle before whatever that thing is catches up with us.
Right.
Ivoris will heal Red one for 3.
You can see that they begin to move their fingers, and you can see them just like roll their shoulder, and they look at you and they say, "Thank you. I broke my collarbone. Thanks."
And Adilov will get a cure wounds.
Adilov doesn't really have any wounds, and it looks like her hand is the stump where her hand used to be seems to be like pretty well looked after. Whatever like crazy infection she was undergoing when you saw her in your vision, like seems to have passed.
Beside the guy called Red Knight, did the other ones, were they also crawling?
Yeah, basically everyone's exhausted, but we've had some healing applied, and there's obviously the adrenaline and the water given, so they're kind of doing a little better, but you can tell very, very quickly they won't last much longer.
Yeah, then Tawree is definitely just reading the room, like sees Greff and Ivoris healing and helping out, so she will find someone probably her size to help out, like just lend a hand somehow. Like, you know, support. I don't know. Is Adilov is a goblin, right? They're small, right?
Yeah, Adilov is a goblin, but the red-skinned tiefling Baracus, he would definitely be your height.
Okay, then I'm offering to do this shoulder-on-shoulder thing. You know, this helping them up.
Yeah. He gratefully accepts that, and you can see that he's mouthing "thank you," but there's no sound coming out.
I whisper to him, "Don't talk." It's all right.
He just like gives you a smile and a nod, like, yeah, he's very appreciative of this right now. All right. I would like Kaz to please roll a perception check for me.
Okay.
Or an investigation. It is your choice.
I'm going to go with perception and am still burb, so have keen sight.
Right, yeah.
However, my mental stats are my own, which means my perception is significantly better.
Nice.
Mental stats.
Druids
My
are great.
mental
I love
stats are my
druids.
own. You don't need to worry about this.
Well, no, because you know what it's like.
stats.
If I use polymorph on somebody, their wisdom would change.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But with wild shape, I keep my own.
Okay.
Yeah, wild shape is baller.
25.
Nice. You see probably about an hour's walk for the kind of the three of your companions, maybe a little bit slower now that they have additional who clearly need help. Maybe at an hour in an easterly direction. There is a building that looks very similar to what Adenlov had just described. You can see that there is this kind of yellowy stone looking building that seems to have a lot of plant life and vegetation growing over it, but it's still quite some distance out. You don't exactly know what. You can see that there is basically a wall around it constructed of bricks and mortar, which looks very out of place. Everything else around here would be, that kind of same yellowish, maybe sandstone, but this is very different. This was purposely put here, and it creates an almost perfect circle around the building itself. The building is pretty big. It would be kind of not exactly like a castle, but like a really big ass mansion. That's what this looks like, but it's dilapidated and it seems to be falling to pieces. The only thing pristine is kind of the wall, but even that in places seems to have been broken.
And it looks like they're heading that way?
Yeah, that was the direction that Red Knight had pointed in.
Okay. Did I hear the conversation, or was I too high up for that?
It's up to you if you're too high, but yeah, you were close enough.
Okay. I mean, with a perception like that, I'm assuming I probably at least was picking up on most of it.
You had at least seen the direction that they were pointing, so yeah.
You're reading mouths from up there. Reading
Probably.
lips.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, in that case then... So, Kaz is actually going to land behind a dune where nobody can see him.
Mm-hmm.
Near to them, though. And then change out of the eagle form and then just walks over the dune towards the group.
Change into a bug so you can be a dune buggy.
Pun damage, please. Pun damage. Dendar, I'm praying for nightmares.
Now I'm really sad that you're not going to turn into a bestial because then we can't name the episode Dune Buggy.
No.
Oh, God damn it, Neil.
Arch, do it for the puns.
No.
Do it for the puns!
I'll just cut in the word.
I can't turn into anything else for the rest of the day.
Every time you say bird, you'll just say bug.
Bug.
No.
Okay, so yeah, what form are you taking coming back over?
I have a very important question that I need to know as a changeling.
Mm-hmm.
How does scrying on a changeling work in your headcanon? Because everything I have read is very mixed.
Yeah. So if they know, for example, that you're a changeling, they're looking for your being. They're looking for a description.
Okay.
If they only know you as Maro the Drow, then they'd be looking specifically for that. And if you are in that form, they'll be able to find you. If you're not, then they won't. That is how I feel it is. Because sometimes you'll be looking for a person or an idea and not necessarily know what they look like, and you may be able to find that person or idea. Or you may be, scrying for someone who is a changeling, who is doing lots of changes, and you know that, or someone that frequently undergoes random body changes because magic. Or you
like Ron.
Yeah, like a Ron, like you on T's, exactly. Or, our wild sorceress who randomly goes through random ass changes. So, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Then in that case, I'm not going to go Maro because that's a bad idea because they know that one.
Yes.
Okay. Then, it just going to go in Kith form just until there's enough time for Kaz to contemplate a new persona.
Yeah.
This one at least feels safe.
Okay.
Maybe more tabaxi, less Yanti, but...
Okay.
Try to draw back on the list a little.
Yeah. As you come over the dune and heading towards the party, the three of you who are helping your three meeting up companions, you can see Kaz off in the distance coming over the dune, and you immediately, Adnalov and Red Knight go for the weapons at their belt, and Adnalov takes like a couple of fumbling steps backwards and holds a dagger ready to throw.
No, that's... Wait, which form are you in?
Kith.
Buggy.
Yeah, that's Kith. Come down.
Who's Kith?
Our companion with a really over-exaggerated wink.
Ivoris, who's this?
You set us up with them, and you don't even know that they can do these things.
I haven't seen
Hold on,
this
let me
form,
retake that
obviously.
because I don't have the tongue again.
Also, Neil,
I have to fucking think about
I think they're
now.
talking about Tawree, not me this time.
Oh, Tawree. Okay.
Wait.
No. The dagger is clearly aimed at where Kith is.
Oh, okay.
Because Adnalov hasn't seen Kith.
That's true. It's true.
Yeah.
You set us up with them, and you don't even realize that they can do these things.
And you see her look very confused and then look over at Tawree. It's like, but I assumed...
Oh.
And who's this?
They helped us and needed help.
I step up to... Who was asking? Adnalov?
Yeah, Adnalov.
I step up to her and reach a hand to her, and I'm like, hello, my name is Tawree.
She like looks down at you, at your hand. She kind of looks up at your hand. She looks up at your hand. She looks at her blade. She looks back at your hand and looks over eventually at Ivoris and goes, "You trust her?"
She helped us take the Forge of Worlds.
And you see her put the blade back, and she reaches out and she shakes your hand. Like she can feel that she's quite weak. And she says, "Pleasure to meet you, Tawree. I'm Adnalov. I used to be his boss," and she indicates Ivoris.
I see. Pleasure to meet you.
You also. And over there, Ivoris is Kith. Kaz. Sorry, over there is Kaz.
Nope.
Right.
No.
Kaz.
No.
Kith. Kith. Was I right first time?
Kaz is the real name. Kith is the cover.
All right, okay.
I honestly lose track.
I know, it's confusing. I'm sorry.
You get
They're too
one
close
in
to
the
each
episode
other.
descriptions. And I've already chosen the one, so.
I changed
I
them
can't
all
keep
the
track.
time. She puts the blade away, and then does anybody here speak Goblin?
I have to check.
Nope.
Wait,
No.
why do I speak Goblin?
Why do you speak Goblin?
Language is Common, Giant, and Goblin.
Did you get it from a magic
Fuck
thing?
you.
No, I think I chose it because me and Azet were good buddies.
Right, yeah.
Mm.
You know all the commoner ways. All right. In that case, you hear Adnalov telling Red Knight that it's okay. They can relax. They are amongst mostly friends. And then they meet up with you. You can see the building off in the far distance. Adnalov goes over and kind of like gives you a half a hug. And then she kind of like continues onwards now that you all can probably see the building ahead.
Yeah, we keep hustling towards the building, probably mostly in silence. I think everybody's kind of just contemplating the situation.
You can tell that Baracus is leaning on you quite heavily, Tawree. Like, he can tell that he's that original surge of adrenaline of having been fouled and having some water and some rations.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's beginning to like wane pretty rapidly. Greff, you can feel that Red Light, like, despite having had the broken collarbone fixed, they're beginning just to lean on you more and more. And eventually they just kind of like admit their own defeat and ask to be like put up on your shoulder because they are just exhausted. Adnalov is staying very close to Ivoris, and just occasionally they will just like fall and bump into you as they're kind of a little bit like trying to force themselves onwards.
Do you guys need a little bit of help? Y'all look kind of like you've been through the ringer.
We have rather.
I think they're mostly
on the run.
tired.
Yes.
How far?
Probably. How far have they gone, or how
No.
far you have left?
How far are we until we get to the place?
Probably about, say, like 10 minutes at this point by the time that conversation is struck up.
Yeah, it's not worth it then. All right.
No.
You guys aren't worth it.
Well, no, like if
No,
it was like still the
save your
full hour,
magics.
that's a different story. But
I know.
No.
I'm messing with you.
I'll answer everything I can in a few hours. We have. It has been a very long trip. You find yourself standing in front of a wall. It is about 7 feet high, made of bricks and mortar. You can see that there is some cracking around the edges. You can see that there are a couple of bricks missing, which allow you to look into this area. You can tell that there are these strange, thorny, viney things that seem to be clasping at the wall itself as if they're trying to choke it. But they have yet to make any real stranglehold. It is, at this point, the sun is basically over the horizon, and you have that very last bit of light just before it's going to be truly night.
Greff tries to hurry to find a suitable place to put Red Knight down.
Like they kind of like climb down from you, and then they sit down on the floor. You can see that they have like what looks like a short sword at their side. And they just nod at you, and they're like, "You can find me when you're ready, mate."
They're gonna follow us here, right? They could see us, we could see them.
Right. This place here, it's known amongst some of my companions. They pointed us in this direction. We realized how truly screwed we were. It should protect us from scrying and teleportation and all that sort. But yeah, I think we've been followed by... I'd say it was a cleric, but it's no cleric I've ever seen.
I don't suppose the cleric looked something like this, and Kith starts describing, the bad one.
Adamlov just kind of like falls to the sand next to Red Knight, and Baracus also just sits down near them. And she kind of like nods a few times. Quite right.
Uh-oh.
Fear might have led them right to you. I'm sorry, I was a little panicked when we sent that note.
Nope, you did the right thing. I don't think there's a group out there that could take that guy. And we might be the best choice.
Is our plan just to get away? What do we need to do in the building?
Red Knight looks up and they say, "There's a cache of things there. Things that can get us out of this place, keep us safe for a couple of days or however long we want to be here. And there are supplies that can also get us out. I need to get Baracus here over to... And then, like, you can see that Adlov has kind of just put a hand on their shoulder. It's almost like a warning. And Adlov probably wouldn't know that Greff could speak Goblin. You just hear her say in Goblin, like, don't. You can't trust everyone. And then switching back, Red Knight says in common, Kino common, "I've got to get Baracus somewhere safe. That's my job."
Well, we do kind of have a little bit of an escape plan ourselves.
You do?
Well, we had a task, and we
How
are
about...
also kind of...
She raises her hand, like, how about we discuss it when we're in a safer area?
Okay.
Things may not necessarily be able to scry or hear us.
All right.
Is there an entrance?
Yeah. They were like climbable vines, I assume.
The vines are quite thick, and they have like a lot of sharp brambles on it. Or a casual observance, yeah, you could use these to climb this wall very easily.
Yeah, Greff's gonna just start heaving himself up.
Okay. I would like you to take a Constitution saving throw.
Oh. Well, I'm good at those, so... That's a 26.
As you begin climbing up and your hand like slips on one of the thorns, it buries itself very deeply into your hand. And as you pull your hand away, you can see that there is this kind of thick greenish something that seems to have come from that thorn.
Oh.
But you still take... Fuck you. You still take 2 poison damage.
Oh.
I rolled a 4.
Greff just like, Oh, okay. Careful. I'm going to try to climb the whole way up, and then I'll drop a rope for you guys.
Maybe you want to let me do it first? I have a way with, plants and animals and everything.
If you can convince this vine not to sting me, I'd appreciate that.
Well, it's more so, plants are, they tend to like me.
Sacred flame. Firebolt.
No, not that. Don't. They have feelings,
What is it that you would like to do?
Well, so I have this thing called Landstride, an ability that almost never comes up as a druid.
Mm-hmm.
And it says, as I quote, moving through non-magical difficult terrain costs you no extra movement. You can also pass through non-magical plants without being slowed by them and without taking damage from them if they have thorns, spines, or similar hazard.
Oh.
In addition, you have advantage on saving throws against plants that are magically created or manipulated to impede movement, such as those created by the Entangle spell.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is if they are magically created, you only have advantage?
Yeah, and as he's climbing, he's just talking to the vines, being like, listen, I know that this is your home. We're just passing through. All we're doing is we're just going to go up on the wall. I promise my friends aren't going to rip you out or anything. I understand this is your place. We're just passing through.
Are you doing talk with plants right now?
I don't actually have the spell prepared, so I can't cast the spell.
So it's more like talking to plants.
Yeah. He's talking to the plants, hoping to convey intent.
All right.
And if Shantae wants to maybe translate for me or something.
It's all right. I still need you to roll a con save, but with advantage.
Okay. I'm grabbing.
Sorry.
No. I'm grabbing my dice.
Oh no, yeah, that's totally fine.
We had a deal. Okay. All right. Good one. But let me roll again with the advantage just in case.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Glad I had advantage. All right. Cool. So that's a 17 plus 1, so an 18.
18.
Yes.
As you begin climbing and you're trying to soothe the plants by getting into their mindset and, chilling them out, just explaining the situation, you place your hand on a thorn and it just smashes into there. You can feel that there is that kind of dark yellowish, whatever it is, trying to course through your veins. And you take 5 points of poison damage.
That's okay.
But you are not poisoned.
All right. That's not cool. That's not cool. But okay.
You okay?
Right. I understand where you're coming from with this. It's fine.
Ivoris poofs a little bit of fire into the air and just raises an eyebrow at you.
No. Listen, this is their home. We're intruding. It's fine.
We need to climb this wall. Unless you see a different way out over here.
It's only 7 feet. Just pull my ass up the rest of the way.
Could have turned into an elephant and thrown us over.
Greff can throw your ass over.
Do you want to be thrown?
I'm climbing the rest of the way. I'm already
Just
up
give
here.
us a rope. You have a rope. That was your first idea.
Yeah,
There was a rope.
Wait,
solid idea.
Am I at the top already?
I'm going to say the two of you are at the top
Okay.
eventually, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
we throw the rope down.
Yeah.
Okay. One rope thrown down.
Don't you dare say we just chucked the entire rope down.
No. I'm assuming you're holding on to it, Greff. You're
Yeah.
kind of strong. I'm going to assume you've got this. You can see that Baracus basically speaks a little bit with Red Knight, and Baracus takes Red Knight up on kind of their shoulder, and they take the rope that is offered by Greff and begin to very slowly and carefully climb up. They are taking a very long time about it, and you can tell that their strength is waning. But they do.
Tawree's
Just hold
helping,
on.
pushing a little.
Yeah, everyone's pushing, pulling, ropes going everywhere.
How big is Brachus?
Baracus is a 6'2".
Tiefling
Okay.
sized.
Yeah, not massively big. Just they need a bit of help up.
So like
6'2" is small.
normal person size.
I couldn't climb a 7-foot wall. Fuck that.
Normal, fairly tall person size.
Yeah.
If I might be able to get you over without you having to climb if you cannot climb. I don't know though. Possibly.
he looks back at you, and just like you can see him raise an eyebrow, or eye ridge, I guess.
I can't teleport, but kind of maybe one person has to get over. So someone get over.
Cass, you can jump down,
Cass
right?
over?
No, wrong name.
Kith and Greff are currently on the top of the wall.
Sorry, Kith, you could jump down, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's only 7 feet. And, my ankle, it burns. Oh, no, all right, I'm over it.
Okay.
Ow, sprain. Fuck.
No, it's like when you jump off of the swings and your ankle does that momentary, like, ah.
Hey, bud.
Yeah.
Are you a cat right now? You're a pretty bad cat. If you're a cat.
What?
You're not going to hurt your feet if you're a tabaxi.
Always land on his feet.
Yep. Yep, cat's grace.
I did land on my feet. It's fine.
Feline agility. All right, you're on the other side.
Okay.
Smart ass.
Oh, this is one of my really dumb things, but it's just like the usefulness is in such a way that I want to test it out in this moment. Ivoris starts casting and kind of explaining, I wasn't sure if we were going to be able to find you so easily, so I was trying to figure out how to basically send people things. And he's just kind of reading his book and going through it. And I cast Speedy Courier. Someone's Speedy Courier. It's my Speedy Courier now. You summon a small elemental to a spot within range. I'm gonna not say air elemental because it's probably gonna be some Dendar thing. Elemental is formless, nearly transparent, immune to all damage, and cannot interact with any other creatures or objects. It comes with an open, empty chest whose interior dimensions are 3 feet on each side. That is half of a person.
That is a full person if you're Adolf.
While the spell lasts, you can deposit as many items inside the chest as will fit. I'm very far from my screen.
Would you like me to read this?
You can then name a living creature you have met and seen at least once before, or have any hair or clipping of nail or blah 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 for, and send this box to them. As soon as the lid of the chest is closed, the elemental and chest disappear and then reappear adjacent to that creature that I have named. If the target creature is on another plane, or if it is proofed against magical detection or location, the contents of the chest reappear on the ground at your feet. The target creature is made aware of the chest's contents before it opens, so I cannot surprise people with this. No traps, I cannot do that. Before the creature chooses whether or not to open it, it knows what's in it. And it knows how much time that they have left to retrieve the item, because this only happens for 10 minutes. So you have 10 minutes to load it and retrieve the stuff. No other person can open the chest and retrieve its contents. Only the person you send it to. Whenever the spell expires and when all the contents have been removed, the elemental and chest disappear. A little more detail. But yeah, I'm going to put a person in that, maybe. And test that. Just from one side of this wall to the other.
Okay, who do you want to try? I'm going to say that Baracus and... actually, to be fair, that is you exactly one person who fits in this box. So Baracus and Red Knight are basically partway up this wall, with Greff helping and Tawree pushing Baracus's butt up a bit higher so you get over the wall. So Adolf is just sitting on the ground looking at you, looking at this book, looking mildly perturbed.
Ivoris sees Adolf
Wiggles his eyebrow.
and he just kind of shrugs I wanted to try this. What are you gonna do?
She looks at you and she says, Ivoris, I've known you an awfully long time. You have a look about you. What are you planning?
I need whoever needs to go onto the other side of this without climbing the wall to just try to fit in the box completely so that we can close the box. And then I will send you to the other side of the wall.
We're also going to cut you in half, but don't worry, it's a magic trick.
I heard
Only if
that.
you're not completely in the box. That's why I said...
I can probably fit in that box. I've been in smaller compartments before. Okay, I'm going to trust you. What happens if this goes, like, as she's climbing in to this box, she looks at you and she's like, halfway in, she's like, looks at you and like, what happens if this goes wrong?
Ivoris looks down at his book, starts reading for a moment, and then looks back
but
at
you have done this before, right?
Someone has. Says so.
Oh.
Okay.
Ivoris, if this is how I die, I am going to come back and haunt you.
I would not do this if I thought that would be the case.
I'll help.
Oh. Haunting him? Great. I trust you, Ivoris. She looks like she's regretting every single breath and word in that situation, but she curls up inside the box. She's very easily able to fit inside it. She curls up really tiny. She looks at you as you close the lid.
All right, Dendar. Crossing his fingers, he's closed the box and sends it to Kaz.
Yeah, before you see this kind of nightmare vision of Ivoris combined with like a really big like octopus looking thing, and it presents this box to you. You are aware that the contents of this box include Adnalov.
Return to No.
Did it work? Did it work?
Yeah, the elemental's asking for a delivery fee. You didn't pay them.
Adnalov pushes open the box like, I'm going to give her the ability to get out this fucking box.
It's an optional tip. Just tell her to fuck off.
She climbs out of the
Dendar's
box.
not responding.
Have you tried rebooting it?
Adnalov climbs out of the box, and Ivoris, you become aware that the spell has ended, that it has completed its task. And there you go.
All right, great. I can do that 2 times more, and then I'm completely useless for the day. So,
Okay, it doesn't take too much work, but between basically the two of you pushing and pulling Baracus, who is also instantly kind of holding Red Knight onto them, they managed to make it to the top of the wall perfectly A-OK. So it's essentially just Ivoris to climb up. And again, you can use either of the ropes to get yourself up and over. When all of you are landed on the other side, you basically see that you are in a large courtyard. You can see that there are plants growing up against any surface that may have like a tiny little bit of shadow at any point during the day. You can see that these plants are mostly just vines with sharp thorns. Occasionally you see like a very big cactus-looking plant that has like the tiniest dark flower on the top. You can see the building in front of you is made up of sandstone, and you can see that there are many things carved into this wall, but you can't see anything fully because it's overgrown with these plants that have large leaves that seem to be curling up into the night. The building itself only has 1 floor, and you can tell that this area that you're in is huge. The walls just keep going round and round. You can see this building is wide. It has at least 2 wings that you can see, and directly in front of you, you can see what looks like a few steps that lead up to this grand double door. At least it would have been back in the day when it was still newly made. Now it is just rotted wood that show inside this shadow-infested room. What do you want to do?
Do you know these plants?
what is this place? Why is this place protected?
Red Knight is still kind of holding on to Brackus at this point. And they say, long time ago, magic wasn't always quite as usual as it is now. It's not quite as reliable. This place was made way back when. Lots of magic happens around it, and it still has quite a lot of chaos magic attached to it by all accounts. As Brackus takes a few steps forward towards this building, they say, this building was originally belonging to an old czar or star or basically a leader in this area. And they had a lot of magic about them. They had a lot of wealth and a lot of power. They had this place built basically just so they could live here. But it ended up turning into a lot more. A lot more magic users came here and they fought and they fought. And this place began to fall apart. Eventually when magic stabilized, whatever happened way back when to make that happen, this place, it was agreed that if nobody could own it, because they fought over it so much, that it would be a place to house relics and be a safe haven for some people, free from the scrying eyes of gods and mortals. But over the years, it's been pillaged and plundered. Nature has regained it, kind of, although it shouldn't. A friend of mine, they let me know about it when I reached out to them to tell them that we were kind of screwed. They knew it would be a long shot for us to get here. And seriously, thank you all for listening to Adlov's note and coming for us. I'm honestly not sure we would have made it here.
Yeah, no problem. Everyone was worried, so glad you're all right.
Okay, you said there was a stash or something here?
As far as I understand it, there should be supplies, weapons, armors. I'm bloody hoping there's some medical supplies in here. Healer's kits or potions or something.
I think you just need rest. I think that's all that's left for you.
Right. Yes, I agree with that.
Whoever was following you is going to reach this place tonight.
Yes. We should set up some watches. This might be protected from scrying eyes, potentially. If that magic still holds. But it's not protected from mundane eyes. And if they are physically following us, then they shall be here fairly soon.
Is this a does this place have many rooms, or is it like one big hall?
So from the outside, you could tell that this, from like the various pieces of the roof and the walls that have been collapsed in or reclaimed, it is obvious that this is a mansion that would have many, many, many rooms to it. Like those kind of like big buildings that have way too many drawing rooms and breakfast nooks. Like they have like way too many rooms.
Then we should try finding like a very secluded room that is not easy, where you cannot, like if you light a fire, you cannot see it from the outside. One that is hard to find.
That's a good idea. I agree. We can perhaps find this stash in the morning when some of us are better able to stand. Well, let's go in then. Red Knight, if you stay with Baracus in case it's trapped. And he nods. And they nod. Adlov just takes a few steps forward. She seems to be in kind of like that adrenaline-fueled, like, danger sense mode. She takes a few steps forward into, like, the area that's overcast, and she looks back at the four of you, and she's just kind of like, do you want me to scout ahead, or...
Oh no, Tawree is already like looking around, like pacing around the premise, like while they are having their little chat, just looking around. Like looking into the rooms over the broken down.
Take an investigation check for me.
Investigation. 12.
As you kind of like, there are kind of like two main wings. There's the entrance hall where like the most of the team are kind of gathered and about to possibly go into. As you go off to what is maybe the east wing, we'll call it that, you can find that there are a series of smaller rooms. Having done a little bit of patrol around, you can see the ones in the west wing the rooms are much bigger. They're more like glorified rooms, you could probably guess that. There isn't really much in the way of furniture left. But over in the East Wing, there are some of the smaller rooms, and you kind of like scouting around, you find one room which is kind of in the center-ish of the East Wing, and it's a fairly small room. There appears to be only one entrance. There aren't any windows to it, but like you walking either side and looking into the windows, you can tell that, hey, there is clearly a room between them that has no window to it. So there must be something here. And looking around the other side of the building, you can look in through like one of like the side windows and see, yes, there is another door that was not counted from the other side. So there is a room that is just built. You don't know if the ceiling is still there. You don't know if the roof is still there, but you can tell that there is a room with only one entrance and one exit.
So I'm standing in front of the door. Am I understanding that correctly? Or like I only
you're
see
still
it?
like outside if you're patrolling around the premises.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Like you'd be looking into a corridor and you can see, hey, that room I can judge by the rooms either side, and having looked on the other side, that doesn't have a window, but it clearly has a door.
It's like built in the center of the
Yes.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I'm gonna try and see if I can find if I can see the door, I'm gonna try and see a look into it.
You can basically climb through the window and open the door. Like that's a doable thing. So there isn't really much in the way of glass left. Like having like most of you been here for a while now and talking and looking around, you can see that some of these windows are really ornate. Like the lead working in it is beautiful, and perhaps at some point that glass had color, but no more. It's just clear glass now. Most of it has been broken or shattered or reclaimed by nature, but yeah, there are a few of them that have no glass in them at all. So it'd be very easy for you just to climb through a window and get to that door and give that a shot, Tawree.
Sure, let's do that.
Okay. As you reach out and touch the door handle, it feels just warm. Maybe the sun was on it. Maybe there's like fire on the other side. You're not really sure, but it's just warm. It's nothing alarming. And just giving it a little twist. There's no click, there's no danger, and the door just swings in and open. You can see that one corner has like the wall very cracked and has like crumbled to one side, and you can see into the larger room, but it's not a particularly big one. It's not one that the taller of you would be able to climb through, but maybe Adlanov, maybe Red Knight could climb through that, but not really for the rest of you. This room is kind of empty, except as you look around, you can see on the floor there is this big kind of what looks like a sigil that has been drawn on the ground. And you can tell it's magical. It is glowing.
Is it like the thing we saw in the forge?
No, this sigil looks really different. It doesn't look familiar to you at all. It's essentially a straight line, and the top of the straight line splits into 3, and the bottom of the straight line splits into 3, and there is a circle that basically cuts around that line.
Mm-hmm. I don't think that Tawree would know what it is that she's looking at. So I guess I will go back to the others and tell them that there's a room that seems like it might be suitable to stay the night in.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good to me.
So she's going back to the others.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a room in there. I think we can stay in there. That it doesn't have any windows. You cannot really see it from the outside. We might be able to rest in there.
I mean, how many doors? How many ways in?
One door and a crack that maybe Adnalov can fit in through, but no one else.
Okay, that sounds good to me. Yeah, that seems like a good place for us to at least start our rest. Excuse me, I seem to have gotten the hiccups.
That sounded more like a burp to me. Do you need to be burped?
No, that was not a burp. I don't know how you got a burp from that, and I'm offended that you even suggested it.
Okay, let's go rest. Yeah, like everyone bundles up, and if no one has any objections, then like your team can make it into this room. Yep. It's a bit of a tight squeeze, especially with at least 5 taller races and the 2 smaller. I think we're assembled in this room.
I think we wouldn't always all be in there. We would always have like at least one person or maybe 2 people out for night watch.
Yeah, Adolov kind of pipes up as you go in, and she sees this rune on the floor, and you can see her raise an eyebrow at it, and the fact that it's glowing is a little ominous. It seems to be glowing this kind of like dark green color. And she looks at it with a little hint of suspicion, but there's exhaustion or nothing, I'm afraid. And she's sorry, and Red Knight, they turn to you all and they say, we're not all going to fit in this room, but we do need to do some watches. So how do we want to split this up?
I'll take first watch. I'm feeling absolutely good.
I'll take that watch with you.
All right.
Then I'll take second watch.
I will take watch whenever I am needed. Just wake me up.
Do you have dark vision?
Yes.
Okay.
Does anybody not have dark vision?
I have a thing around that. Don't worry.
Okay.
Right. See, Adolf just kind of raised her eyebrow looking at you, and she says, okay, Ivoris, if you take watch with Tawree, and you and I can take the last watch, like all times.
Sure. I just want to look at this rune real quick.
Please. At this point, Adolf just sits down, like she's done. She's finished trying to being in charge, like she's done with this shit now.
I know that Ivoris in the past has argued like he knows like Yanti ouchie runes. He knows the ones that hurt.
Yeah, go for it.
Is this something that seems like that? I don't know if he knows anything outside of that because I don't think that his score on this is necessarily good, but
Future
I can make
vision.
a roll.
Future vision on the rune.
That's true. I intend on jumping on this rune, V. I'm gonna...
Yes, please, jump on the mystery rune.
All right. This mystery room with the mystery rune in it, you notice that the plants are not actually in here. You can tell that the plants are like pretty close around it. They're growing up maybe a little bit more concentrated specifically in this area, not really sure. But the inside of this room has no plants whatsoever.
So either this rune is the Eye of the Storm or it's an anti-plant rune.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead and argue some sort of roll. What do you want to roll, man?
Let's see what I'm good at. Deception, no.
That won't help.
Intimidation, no.
You can't intimidate the rune.
Persuasion, no.
No, you will not persuade me.
These are old things. What about religion?
Sure, but the check is going to be really hard.
Okay. Well, I have a +5 to that and a plus basically nothing to everything else that is
okay, all right.
in the wheelhouse of suggestions. So I'm going to take religion.
Sure.
22.
You look at it and it's not magic as you would know it and understand it, and it doesn't, like the bits of magic that you do know in the sigils and the runes that you do know, this is none of them at all. This is a completely different style of rune, and why it's glowing, probably it's more like a...
At least it doesn't seem to be hidden.
It's not hidden.
Right?
I'm just trying to figure out what that would mean.
At least we have light in the night.
I can't sleep with all this blue light. Stop it. Yeah, the way that this room has not allowed anything into it, the way that this room is clean and clear, and there was clearly like an entrance to this and there was no light in upon it. This is something that should not be disturbed. Which may either mean it has great reverence towards the dead and respect, or it has a great reverence towards some sort of protection. Most protection spells or runes that any of you would know would include some sort of a circle or a straight line or a block. This does have a straight line, but the straight lines break at the top and at the bottom, so it's not quite like it could be. It also might not be. So this room was treated with a lot of reverence and respect, and they didn't want it disturbed. That's really what I can give you because you didn't get high enough.
Fair.
So just to make sure, this isn't the rune that we destroyed at the forge, right? Like this isn't another one of those like, can't touch this place.
Nope.
Okay. All right. I don't like that.
Also, you would be able to tell pretty straight away whether it's like anti-scrying, anti-contact with deities, because you can still hear the deities. You sense them at least.
Okay.
You can hear them.
That's reassuring.
Okay. Just don't touch it. I don't know what it is.
Can everyone fit in the room without touching the rune?
Yeah, it would be possible. Adlov just kind of like walks in. She steps over a few lines. She takes the corner, like nearest where the crack in the break is. She just curls into a ball and just falls asleep. There's no sleeping bag. They literally have no real supplies with them except a few daggers and empty water skins and such like. So she just curls up on the floor and just nods straight off. Brachus takes a few steps over and like puts Red Knight down like pretty close to where Adlov is, and they also very quickly lay down. Oh no, sorry. Red Knight refuses to move and stands by the door because they're on watch. I'd forgotten that. Brachus just kind of lays in a section where they could get their body mostly and roll over a bit without any like possibly rolling into or onto the rune. Again, no bedrolls. None of them have any real equipment on them. They very quickly fall asleep also.
Greff is gonna go over to where Adnalov is sleeping, and he's gonna put his bedroll down next to her and just kind of roll it open and just gently tilt her over onto it. There you go.
She is absolutely like dead to the world. Like she has no compass mentis. Like there is nothing there. Like the moment her head hit this like stone floor, she's out. Like she's asleep.
Ivoris is not going to go that far, but he will throw his bedroll in there, toss it in there, kind of like
Hits the rune.
already kind of untied and in a loose bundle so that someone can use it if they would like.
Brachus like very gratefully, and they signal their thanks to you.
Yeah, he nods.
Again, they don't seem to be making any sound from their throat, but more of a rasp and a grate. So they just do like the normal signal of thank you, and they lie down. And it takes a little longer for them to fall asleep, but eventually they also do.
So the watches, are they inside the room or are we standing outside the room?
I think it probably makes sense if we think someone is coming to us to do this outside.
All right.
I'm going to set an alarm like further up the hall, if that's possible. So
that's absolutely possible.
It's positioned somewhere to where it'll go off if someone's like on their way to us, but we're not necessarily the center of the alarm.
Yeah. You can see that Red Knight nods and they say, it's a bloody handy spell to have, thank you.
It's a new one. I like it so far. Feels safer.
Do you maybe want to drop one on the crack in the wall, just in case something comes through there?
Alarm?
Yeah.
I think I can only do one.
Okay.
I could do it.
Well, if we keep this door open to that room, we'll be able to look into it and add it as part of our walk around a patrol and such like.
All right.
I'm more worried about things coming over the wall, to be honest.
Yeah,
I'll put it wherever, but I only have the one, I think.
If you can't ritually cast it, then yeah, it's only the one. Well, it's however
it is
many spell
ritual
slots.
casting. It's actually exclusively ritual casting because it's
Then you
Dendar's
can-
book ability.
You can stack that shit.
Oh, then okay.
That's fine. Yeah, then we'll have one there and we'll have one down the corridor. That's fine. I'll bear that in mind.
Thank
See
you.
if I can remember that.
all right. As Greff and Red Knight get ready to do their watch, Greff leans over his backpack and he gets out a dusty iron little contraption that kind of looks like a little like lizard dragon thing.
Oh.
Hey, buddy, it's been a while. Sorry, haven't had a lot of reasons to bring you out. You could still do light, right? How do you work? As Greff is like kind of like jiggling it around, trying to figure it out again.
What the bloody hell is that?
We Goliath can't see in the dark, so
Wait, I think that's bullshit.
no, it isn't. There's a reason why my taken identity is a Goliath.
Goliath can't see in the dark.
That's true. They can they? All right, okay, I'll let this one
was
go.
genuinely one of the big things I had to make sure would make sense. It's the quickest giveaway.
Let Greff use the one wonderful thing Aran left behind.
Okay. I was like, I can't remember if that's true. I don't
The
know why.
only
If it's because
legacy-
Goliath couldn't see in the dark, or was it because Greff couldn't see in
This
the
is my
dark?
baby.
I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
All right.
It also has a handy side effect, which is that it reveals invisible things if it lights upon them.
Oh.
So it's useful.
Adlife probably couldn't ever sneak up on you then if you got that out.
What? Adolf can go invisible?
Yeah. You can see, like, on their face, they instantly get that look of, like, I probably shouldn't have said that.
I think we've seen Adolf.
Wait, Greff, you mean you can't go invisible? Most of us can do that, I thought.
Oh, wait, no, yeah, totally, Kino brothers. I love going invisible.
Right? It's like the coolest thing to do.
Wait, I don't.
This is a
Ivoris
joke.
stands in a shadow and goes invisible.
Greff starts sweating profusely.
Even Tawree can go invisible, right? I think that's a thing Tawree can do. At least not, then she can teleport from place to
Yeah,
place.
Tawree can do it, but only because of Ottrup.
Yep. Everyone can go invisible except Greff.
Greff just starts sweating like,
Sorry, I can't either.
I can't do it under pressure, you guys. You have to look away.
If you don't look at me, I'm invisible.
I'm socially invisible. It's different.
Greff is made for the big screen.
Oh.
Yeah. So Greff has the Lantern of Revealing, which is in the shape of a little dragon.
Okay. Are the other three of you going to sleep? Are you resting? Are you opting to stay up for a little bit longer?
Tawree's resting.
I need
Okay.
my things.
Yes, that's true. You do need your things. Ivoris, are you staying up for a little longer, or are you going into two sleeps?
Ivoris is going to lay down if he's not needed, because I think he's going to take the last watch, as
Okay,
it was
yeah, that's right.
was said. So he's going to have like a quick conversation with his ring, and then go to sleep.
Okay. All right. What are you chatting with them about?
I think at first he thanks them. He's like, thanks for the help and leading us the right way.
You not dying. Appreciate I also.
I suppose I owe you one then. How would I be able to help you?
No, not exactly. I think there is ways of transferring, but transferring this to another, I do not. There might be spells now, your time now, my time. There might be spells now that can free people from traps like this. But I know not where.
You didn't want to be removed by the temple, removing curse. That would not set you free.
No, curse removal is not this. It would allow you to release the ring, but trapped I would still be.
Oh.
It would mean I continue exist.
But we do trade if something happens to me.
Yes.
So positive for you, right? Am I No, okay. So bad for you.
Your death means I'm
Okay.
dark place.
Okay.
You ring me dark place.
Okay.
But curse remove would mean you die, me not dark place, I would just be stuck in this ring still.
We would not be able to talk.
No.
And you would not be able to help me figure out how to help you.
Exactly.
Okay.
Are you going to try and free me?
I can. I don't see why not. Yeah. If I can.
Oh.
I don't know if it's possible, but if it's as simple as looking into it, of course. I mean, like I said, I owe you one, so I'm not just going to leave you somewhere.
Oh.
I don't like the idea of our, the conditions of our attachment at the moment being that if I die, bad things happen to both of us.
Yes.
And we are constantly in a lot of danger.
Yes, and that is not avoidable. And this fight would be one that I would like to be have a body for. I am not useful like this.
Oh, you don't want to go to Bellum or Cicero yet, you want...
To live.
Okay.
Perhaps the mages of our world now know how to get this free.
I'm sure we'll find the right people to ask.
Thank you.
Not a problem.
Okay, Greff, you on watch. I need you to roll a perception check with advantage, please.
All right. Perception. That would be a 16. God damn that roll.
Wow. You don't see anything of note. Actually, that's vastly incorrect. I'm sorry. As you are walking around and the sun has completely and fully set now, you're only seeing by the light of the dragonling. You are only seeing by small torches that have been put in places so that they can't seep out. You can only see along your corridor. You notice that the vines themselves and the plants all around you begin to shift. There's no wind, but it's like there's a wind rustling through their leaves, and every single one of them at once just begin to flutter and move. You see the vines begin to grow and curl and try and dig in at the plaster and the walls. You see and hear and see some of it crack further. You see that there are some of these plants that are growing in the rooms either side of the one that has the sigil in it. They kind of seem to be shifting ever so slightly towards it, and all of this happens over the course of about 10 seconds. You hear and see movement, and then everything stops. And there's nothing else peculiar about your watch.
Cool. I run that by Red Knight. Like, did you notice something like this?
That's bloody weird. What the fuck is this?
Did you see something like that, or
I've never seen this before.
did it feel like the plants were trying to get at the rune or away from the rune?
Well, and you see them like pop their hobble and like pop their head into the room that has like the crack into the sigil room, and yeah, you can see some of the plants are much closer to that now. And they say, I think they're probably trying to get closer to it.
Okay. As long as it doesn't get inside the room, I think our friend should be fine.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I did just dodge that one on the floor there, trying to reach out around my foot, but luckily I'm a little bit off balance and went the way it didn't expect.
Okay. That's no good.
Bloody weird. No, I don't like this. I can't protect Barakas if all this shit keeps moving. Look, if you see even just one of it, just move a little bit closer. I'm gonna try and hack it to pieces. How about that?
Sure.
Great.
have we cut or hurt any of the plants at any point during the day?
Not really. No, not at all.
They have hurt you?
Yeah. Greff is just...
Yeah, you broke 2 of their thorns off, you bastards. No, they haven't had them at all.
Greff is just gonna, like, calmly and quietly just draw one of his magic swords and just...
Wait, what are you doing?
I just wanna see something. And he's just gonna gently place the edge, the blade's edge across, like, on one of the vines, not cutting yet.
You see Red Knight just pull out their short sword and take it two-handed and just stand like really close to you, like the weapon is clearly ready for whatever shit is about to go down. You hear them utter a very like quiet prayer to the Red Knight under their breath in Goblin.
Greff is noting that away, like, that's weird. And then Greff just does like a really quick slash and he's ready for whatever, like, it's retaliating.
Okay, the vine lifts itself into the air and smashes into your face.
What?
You're rolling initiative.
What?
Man, if only y'all had waited until I finished my long rest.
There was nothing to wait for. The fucking plants are going for you guys.
They moved for 10 seconds.
Maybe they wanted to
they
give
were
me a
not a
hug.
threat to you.
That's
were like,
10 seconds
sorry.
too much.
You could just have cut off like a leaf or something and watched what happened then. Didn't have to hug the thing right off.
He did just do a tiny nick, and it is the thing just smashing him in the face. All right, what'd you get?
You wanted me to roll the initiative?
Initiative,
Oh,
please.
Jesus.
Yep.
That's an accidental. That's a 7 plus 4, so 11.
Okay, that's Greff. And the plant. Red Knight got an 18, so it's still below the plant. Okay, the plant lifts its thorny vine and smashes you in the face. 4. Fuck, that was a 2.
Okay.
I assume that doesn't beat your armor class?
Oh, to hit?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, even with its, like, bonuses, it was never gonna hit you. Fucking asshole.
What did you take for?
That's it. That was its go.
Okay.
That was everything.
Yep. Greff just like has like okay. So you have to be descriptive here. Does the vine like slash at Greff and then like a snake hiss and like stand on its edge as ready to pounce again, or does it just kind of flop against
like kind
him?
of like halfway along the vine itself, it kind of flips back and like the very end of it smashes you in the face but completely misses, so like you manage to dodge out the way, or it's not long enough when it's curled up, and it smashes against the side of the wall and just comes back to rest. So it's not exactly on the floor laying flush like it was, but you can see that there's an arch in it, so it's like quivering, and you can see the thorns like they're beginning to glow ever so slightly.
Okay. Ready action attack if it moves at me again. That's like I'm not gonna instigate another attack if the thing is stunned.
You can see Red Knight is doing exactly the same. They just like, what was that? They go to slash at it, but like it doesn't make contact with you, so like their sword doesn't even hit where they thought it may end up. And everybody, Plant, Red Knight, Greff, all 3 of you are ready actioning to hit in case something hits.
A fly lands on the plants.
There are very tense 6 seconds.
Greff is just
Very
gonna
tense 12 seconds.
slowly put down his weapons.
You see Red Knight is not slowly putting down their weapon, but you see like the vine in front of you just very slowly begins to like that kind of like kink in it begins to slowly like roll out, and it just lays flat on the floor again.
I imagine
Yeah, you're out of combat. Continue.
Yeah, I imagine Greff like leans down to the vine and just like, are you intelligent?
You see a few of the thorns, like there's like a very like subtle color change to them.
I'm sorry I hurt you.
Fuck me.
Kaz would be proud. You're doing the Lord's work.
I cannot believe I'm in bed for this.
Can you make yourself the color of sand?
Take a persuasion roll.
Persuasion roll. Normal.
I mean, of all the things I've had you roll persuasion rolls against, like goddesses, gods, sand creatures, like this is a plant. This should be easy.
18.
Yeah, it very subtly changes the color of the vine itself to a sand color, and then it reverts back to this kind of like darkish, mottly green.
Okay. If you want me and my friends out of that room, and Greff points towards the room with the rune, turn back into sand color. And Greff is just hunched over, staring at the leaf.
It doesn't change color at all.
If you need to get into the chamber,
it begins to almost immediately turn to a sand color.
Is the chamber dangerous to my friends?
Take a persuasion roll.
15.
Bet you wish you had to speak with plants now, eh, Greff?
Yeah. 15.
If you'd waited till morning.
It doesn't respond. There is no like changing a color. There's no flickering of leaves or anything like that.
Can you verbally communicate sand colors?
You see the vine kind of like lift itself up a little bit, and it's kind of like raising itself up to the point where it's kind of level with you, like your eyes, and you see it like begin to like sway a little bit as if there's a breeze on it. But yeah, it begins to very slowly change a variety of different colors.
Greff kind of looks over at Red Knight like,
Greff is in over his head. This is so good. How bad is the urge to wake someone else up right now?
oh, so fucking bad.
This is good.
I don't know what you're doing, dude.
I'm
Like, seriously, I don't know what the fuck you're doing, mate.
I'm communicating with a plant.
As you do.
Why? Just leave it alone. We're only supposed to be here for like one night.
But we have to be here for a night. We need to be safe. Do you know anything about this plant? About the rune? Anything of this?
No, I don't know sod all, mate. I'm just there to protect Baracus and do what I'm supposed to do.
Do you think Baracus knows anything?
I don't think so. We never bloody heard of this place until we got here.
Oh boy.
I think maybe we ought to wake up your druid friend.
Yeah,
That might be a smart idea.
I think we're reaching the point where I have to wake up Kith.
Or maybe just thank the plant for speaking with us and we just pretend this never happened.
See?
Yeah.
See, you're thinking like a dummy. Something the size of this entire compound is able to communicate with us, and we're afraid somebody's about to sneak up on us. Think. We can ask the plant for help.
Don't you think the plant tried to poison you when you climbed over it? Do you not think it'll probably try and do the same to the others?
If somebody tried to climb me, I would swat them away too. I think the plant was completely in the right there. And I think if we can get the plant to help us, we're in good mood. Good.
But why does it want to get in there? Why does it want to get into that sigil?
That's the thing.
Maybe we should just... If we're not in any danger from it this evening, probably, and we'll just be gone tomorrow and the plant can keep doing its normal shit. This seems like a really bad idea. And you can see that Red Knight is kind of like hobbling backwards slowly towards the open door of the room.
Okay, Greff's gonna lean down to the plant again and like, I don't know what you are. I'm gonna try to get one of my friends to...
Oh, the plant hasn't gone down. It's still at eye level with you.
Okay, yeah. Oh, Jesus. I don't know what you are. I'm gonna get one of my friends to try to help here. But if there's a person that is not us that comes into this compound, turn your leaves a different color, because those people are here to hurt us. and they will destroy everything to get to us. I don't expect you to fight for us. I just don't want to die tonight.
At this point, Kith, you are awoken very abruptly by like the butts of the handle of Red Knight's short sword, and they're just kind of like jabbing you, like, and just like, shh, wake up, wait,
What?
wait, wake up.
What's going on?
Okay, you might not believe me, but you also might. Your buddy, that giant Goliath guy out there, he's talking to the plant.
Has he finally embraced Chantea?
It seems to be talking back to him, and it's a little bit threatening. And I think he might be doing something really stupid.
What the
and
fuck?
I think
That
we should
took
just
me
leave
years.
it the bloody hell ago.
That took me years to perfect, and he's just doing it?
I don't bloody know. Look, you're the most nature one of all. And I just thought maybe you could help. Maybe get him to stop doing this. I don't know how close you are with them.
Okay. All right. I got this.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And with that, like, Red Knight goes over and like pokes Ivoris and pokes Tawree. Like,
What?
hey, wake up! Greff is doing it really bloody stupid.
Why is this goblin like shit talking me this much? I feel like I did not earn this.
I don't know. That depends
Sure.
how many stories Adnilov was telling along the way.
Okay, that's fair.
I did not expect this plant to be a big bloody thing, guys. Don't attack the fucking plant.
I wasn't going to attack the plant. What?
I don't know. He started cutting it, and then it got really pissy at him, and now it wants to communicate with him, and it seems to be staring him in the eyes. It's ain't got no eyes, and it's really freaky.
Okay, going outside.
All right. The three of you can very easily make it into the hallway. And yeah, you see this like vine roughly eye level with Greff, and it seems to have changed colours from what you remember it having been. There's just like this one big shaft of light across it from the dragonling. There's nothing invisible around it, but it does seem to be changing colours and swaying ever so slightly.
Greff.
Oh, just the person I needed. The plant is completely and utterly alive and sentient.
Okay.
Like I'm not gonna argue about the sentience of a dandelion, but like it is like goblin sentient.
I heard that. Fuck you.
What is your deal? I've done nothing. I helped you. Why is the goblin so mad at me?
Okay. Did you cast a spell?
No. I don't know what it is. I think it wants us out of here, but I know it wants the rune. Do you want to try to like communicate with it?
I could have if you gave me till morning.
I like to think it could have expressed its desire for us to not be here a little sooner. If that were the case.
I don't think it dislikes us per se. I think it just doesn't mind us. Greff is gonna lean into Ivoris and like real quiet, like go like, can you like read this thing's history?
What the fuck?
I mean, I just want to see if this plant has like strangled strangers in the past, or like why it wants to get at the rune. I'm just super curious at this point, V. You make me incredibly curious.
I can read futures, Greff.
Wrong campaign.
Characters.
So no, I can't look at histories.
Vine friend. Hi. I'm Kith. Nice to meet you. Let me try something. Kith is going to try talking in Druidic to it and see if that does anything.
Okay. All right. What are you saying?
He's just testing the waters. He's like, can you understand me? Can you communicate in this form?
You see that, like, some of the vines that are kind of crawling in through the window, they also begin to, like, slither ever so slightly so that they can also be kind of upright. So there are, like, 2 of these vines just kind of upright and about eye level with the 4 of you, because I think you're all about roughly the same height, give or take. So they all kind of, like, there are 2 of them now up at about height, and behind you, the 4 of you can hear that there are other vines that are doing fairly similar things.
I'm going to take that as a yes. Okay. We need to rest. We're all really, really tired. If you give me until morning, we can talk. You can tell us your story about why.
You can hear that all the vines behind you and the one that's creeping through the window, you can hear them smashing, like, repeatedly against, like, the walls or the grounds, like... That is what they're doing. I'm not telling you what the intent of that is unless you figure it out.
You don't like that idea, do you?
You see, like, you hear, like, the vines stop, and you see the one in front of Greff that had been communicating with him. That turns like a sandy color.
That means yes.
Okay.
That means affirmative more than yes.
You already taught it how to communicate. Okay.
Well, yeah, you left me alone with it for like a minute. Of course I'm going to talk to it.
I was sleeping.
You snooze, you lose, my friend.
No, I was trying to snooze so we could win.
That sounds like loser talk to me. I'll stop.
Okay. So, we don't really have a choice here. We kind of really need to rest. There is a bad person coming after us, and we're all really exhausted. Give us till morning. I will make sure that we can communicate with each other clearly, and we'll figure out what it is that you want us to do, and we'll see if there's some equal ground that we can meet on. You have my word as a follower of Shantaea, okay?
The vines behind you and the ones through the window begin to again like wrap and knock, and the kind of like sandy color disappears from the vine just in front of Greff. And if anything, you think maybe that vine is growing a little longer and is trying to get like closer to like the 4 of you, or at least to the room. You're not really sure, but it's growing in your direction.
I don't know what that means.
I think it means it's unhappy with that answer.
The vine in front of Greff turns the color of affirmation.
Ivoris, come on.
Greff, at this point, I'm just trying to figure out if we need to leave.
I think a huge help in that would be more information about the plant.
What do you want me to see the future of the plant, Greff?
Yes, that's definitely what I was hinting at earlier.
What future?
What if it gets rid of the rune?
What?
What if it gets rid of the rune?
If it gets rid of the room?
Rune. Yeah.
Okay. I can check that. See, that's something.
I just want to know what that happens.
Okay, go ahead, check. This is... Just roll and I'll tell you what your result is.
13.
No. You don't get anything worth a damn. Like, you see the plants, like, you see a few of them slithering into the room, some through the crack, which is more predominant, and you see them, like, getting in towards the area, but you really don't see anything beyond the obvious.
No, I've got to wait a minute. That one, I don't know.
What can I do to help? Ultra, basically, you see him appearing at the other end of the corridor, where the shadows are, and you see him just kind of like hopping around and jumping over the vine. Yeah, Tawree, you would just set his mood as gleeful.
Gleeful, okay. I see him out of the corner of my eye, and I walk over to him, and I bend down to him and ask, What is it?
These vines are much like me.
In what way?
We come from the same place.
They are like your spores?
In a way.
Do you know why it wants to get to that rune in that room?
No idea. That magic's even older than I am. These vines are not from this place. They are from Bellum like me.
The plants are?
So they probably have a very similar view on the world as I do.
If you were this plant, could you guess at a reason why they want to get to that rune?
You see Orchard just kind of like bounce around a little bit, and you see like some of the things very close to it beginning to glow. And it says,
It can barely breach the magic holding it in place. I would guess that is stopping it.
What does that mean?
Destroy the rune and the plants go free.
I'm not sure if that's a good idea right now. I relay that to the others.
Oh, it's a demon plant. Okay, that explains why it's not really working so well. Okay.
Okay. Then no, we're gonna just not make any deals here.
Yeah, I don't think the word of follower of Shantae means much to it. So,
sorry, bud.
I don't know. I just tend not try not to make deal with demons. So,
So, does that mean we're not treating with it? We're just gonna leave it the bloody hell alone?
yep, it's just gonna have to. And Greff says to he's talking at the vine now. It's just gonna have to put up with us until sunrise, and then we will be out of its hair. Leaves, vines.
Thorns?
Okay. Well, since the lot of you are up, I'm gonna go back to sleep. Well, I'm gonna go to sleep because I am bloody shad. And since most of you are awake anyway, you can decide amongst yourselves who's gonna be the next one up.
not it.
I'm last.
Yeah, Tawree was next, but I was just wondering how much of the watch has already passed.
Let's just say enough.
Okay,
like,
yeah, then
enough.
Tawree
Yeah.
is gonna stay up.
Okay. As Red Knight goes to lay down, they give like I don't know, Admiral a kick or something.
Gonna switch out the bedrolls. So Greff can sleep.
Yes.
Still warm.
Ivoris is going to blindly make his way back to his bed, hands in front of him, feeling the walls.
Oh.
He's got a minute left. He just wants to lay back down, though.
Pretty sure a minute has already
We're done.
passed.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a short
okay.
bit of conversation. But it's close anyway.
Okay. So in that case, we'll have Adlanov and Tawree take the next watch. Nope. I think that's probably okay. Can I have you roll a perception check, please?
17.
You're kind of like doing the rounds with Adlanov, and she's not really saying much. But she does seem like now she's had even a small amount of rest. Like she seems much more alert and a lot more with it than she was before. And as she's walking around, she points out the window, and you can see it too. You can see that there is snow beginning to fall. Snow in the desert is not usual, except for one day of the year, which is when winter comes. It's day 69. It's winter.
Nice.
Nice. Time to cool off, guys.
With some 69.
With some 69. Yeah, so you can just tell that winter has arrived.
Feels like home.
Yeah.
I think while they're making the rounds, I think Tawree will also try to have another chat with Ottrup and ask, like if he's still around, like not ask if he's around.
Yeah,
but
absolutely. Yeah, like you can see him at the corner of your eye, and whenever it is that Adnilov has like wandered off to a slightly different place or split up ever so slightly, still within range and like sight and talk, but like enough out of sight that you can definitely talk to Ortrub.
How many days has passed since the forge?
7 or 8, something along those lines now. Yeah, it's been a while.
Ortrub, we haven't really done this since we parted with my kids, but can you tell me how they are?
You see that it tips its head to one side a little bit and then slowly straightens up. You can see that their eyes flash through like a couple of different colours, and they say,
Yep. Your bigger kids, whatever that one is, they're okay. They're doing fine and they're happy. They're travelling across the desert with the tall, yellow tiefling lady, and they seem very happy with her. The little one wants to keep turning back and coming to find you, but Sarissa is firm. Doesn't like the fact they always have to go to bed before the sun, and that they always have to comb out their fur.
Are they eating well?
Yes. They are eating a lot. Sarissa is a good huntress.
That's good. They're still growing.
Not as good as you killing my children, but still pretty good.
I told you I'm sorry. I will once...
We are even. You are going to slay a dragon for me at some point. Whenever that may be, you know. After we save the world, or if it proves to be a severe liability to our continuing existence.
We will find a dragon that we can slay together. And Tawree pats his little head, like gives him a little head rub.
for the only moment in the world you see a demon being petted by a mama.
Yeah, I think Tawree...
Yeah, it gives you like little snoot boots, like just at the end of your fingers.
I think Tawree is warming up to him slowly.
Yeah, I think this demon would be slowly warming up to you also.
If I had a berry, I would give one to him, but I don't have one.
Oh, that's so bloody cute. And Ortrub, after like you've given it the pets, and you know, a little bit later, it kind of like looks up at you and like sits back on its like little legs and that lifts the front ones up, and it says like,
How? Have you thought on how we're gonna kill a dragon?
Not yet. I think I will have to become a lot stronger, and she takes out a spoon. We'll probably have to replace this with something else.
Oh no. I don't think that's gonna happen in the slightest. I feel like we could probably either make it magical, or steal to make it magical, or I will simply imbue it myself somehow. No. You keep your spoon, and we'll just make you stronger.
But I will definitely have to learn a lot about defeating enemies other than the UNT or just common prey.
Yes. Uh-huh. These aren't your forest rabbit or deer. Mm-mm. We will train you and I. I will give you creatures to fight. I will show you how to use the dark magics that are in Bellum. Trust me, you'll be as strong as any of these around you by the time I'm finished with you.
I hope so. Thank you.
And you see the bunny kind of like, if it could do like the air quotes with its like paws, it is doing
ears.
that. With the ears, yes, thank you, Cassie. With the ears, it does the air quote ear thing. And it says,
For the greater good.
Yes.
Of course.
Everything, if I can just make this world last long enough so my children can live in it.
Yes. Something you and I both have in common there. or bad.
Okay. Towards the end of your watch, you realise that Adnoth has kind of disappeared.
Did I just lose sight of her? Do I remember where I last saw her?
The last time
her?
you saw her, she was in that room right next to like the one that has the crack into it. Like that's the last place that you saw her. Yeah,
I will look around to find her, but keep within walking distance or shouting distance of that room just in case.
yeah. Could you make either a survival check or an investigation check?
I'm gonna pick a survival check.
Okay.
See if I can find any tracks or whatever. 19.
A 19. Yeah, you go over to that area and you notice that on some of the vines that are like getting closer to that wall, you see like a very small amount of like dark blood, like clearly like someone alive, and the only person alive you saw there recently was Adlanov. Clearly they have been stung by this at some point, and could see very tiny little blood drops like making their way up to the crack and then passing on into that room.
Oh, so she went into that room through the crack?
Yep.
Okay. So I go to the door, because I cannot pass through that crack. Gonna go to the door and peek into the room, make sure that she's inside.
Okay.
And if she's...
All right, I'm going to hold you there for a second.
I freeze in the doorframe.
Flashback. We flash back to about the beginning of Ortrop's conversation with Tawree, and Greff, you are suddenly awoken by a very sharp pain at the side of your neck.
Okay. I jolt up and grab at my neck.
If you take one more move, I'm going to slit your throat. Who are you?
I'm Greff. Can I see anybody?
No.
Okay, so, Adolf, what are you doing?
What's your name?
Greff, Peace Bleeder.
Why are you here? Are you here to spy? Are you here to assassinate someone?
What?
Why are you here, Greff?
Well, literally in this...
Shh. To the point. You live because I think you tried to save my life.
I'm here. You know why I'm here. I want to get stronger. I want to be better. That's the only reason why I've been part of the Kino Initiative Task Force.
You realize, Greff, you come from Discora, and from my point of view, you infiltrated a very specialized group. I do many things in my line of work, or at least I did. From assassinations to captures to murders to spying. How do I know you're not the same, but from the other side? I'm not naive enough to think there aren't spies on both sides, Greff.
Okay. I'm seeing better the question here. Adolf? I don't give a fuck what kings and emperors want. I'm here because I wanted to be here. And nobody was going to stop me. The world is bigger than those tiny-headed people who sit on their thrones can even imagine. And I'm not going to be tied down because one idiot said to another idiot that people aren't allowed to travel.
Roll a persuasion check for me.
10.
You feel the dagger be removed from your throat and immediately feel her punch you in the face. So you broke this treaty so you could get stronger. Are you out of your mind, Greff?
Greff, like, sits up and looks wherever he assumes the invisible goblin to be.
I need everyone to know that Neil and Arch are nodding to every one of these "Are you a bloody idiot?" comments. I'm so sad no one can see this because it's so fucking funny.
No. I just... You say that you've been part of spying and assassinations and all this stuff. You know how big the world is. You know how much there is in it. You know that rules are just made by small-minded people to inflict it upon other people.
No, not always. Rules are sometimes there to keep us as a group safe. We uphold these treaties because, love them or hate them, 5,000 years later, we don't know what you want. And if I did believe that you were just an idiot who decided to travel halfway across the world to get stronger, and at this you see her appear as she takes off like this, like the red scarf from around her neck. She's standing next to you, but this dagger is still in her hand. Why did you lie to me? I thought we were friends.
The same reason why I've had to lie to everybody. Because of the treaty. If I could have come here as Greff, the human, I would have. But
I don't think I would have kept your secret.
Greff genuinely kind of puts his head back and like thinks about this and like,
I who have overhired you on tea against the better judgment of everyone around me because I believe in them. Who hires a changeling from maybe Discorer who knows exactly where the boundary is in the Earth Dark. I've turned my back on the initiative. You think I wouldn't have kept the secret of a man who decided to punch the local leader until he threw you in jail?
He was being a complete twat at that bar.
You lied to me.
Okay. Gonna say one thing to my defense.
Sure.
If the initiative would have told you to stab me to death because I'm a human and they don't want the treaty to be broken,
I would have sent you back.
with no knife in my back?
She kind of like does like a head tilt and half a smile. She says, well, maybe a stab, but nothing fatal.
Well,
Enough to say under oath that I had done my job.
then I misjudged you, because I believed you were a woman of duty.
I am, but not to somebody else's duty rules. Mine.
I assumed that you, like almost everybody else from Kino, would rather want me dead than sent home. And
Greff, I truly believe at some point you are an utter idiot, and I do believe your story about coming here. I wouldn't want you dead because of that, but I would not want you here, potentially breaking the peace that we had between.
written and
But you've
signed.
been outed and rumbled, and now it's too late.
What do you mean? How do you know I'm a human? Did Ivoris
Word
tell
travelled. No. No, Ivoris doesn't betray his friends like that, Greff. No, I heard rumours of it when they announced that the treaty had been broken. Your name was mentioned.
Then that's for those eggheads to figure out.
We don't have time, Greff. There are far more important things being fought. Red Night out there, it's filled me in on a lot of details. The bigger fight that is happening. Now, I'm not claiming to be Assembly, and I am definitely not Initiative. But I will fight for all of you, and do what I must. Show me what you look like. Who am I actually talking to?
Greff kind of like chuckles to himself and says like, "You're friends with Maro. I would think that didn't matter to you."
Maro is a changeling. That is the essence of what they are. But you're not. You're human.
True.
As much as I am goblin.
All right. Greff is just pulling his leg closer to himself as he like...
What are you doing?
Do you see me wearing any fancy magical necklaces or rings? I had to hide this stupid thing. Because otherwise clever people like you would have figured me out a long time ago. Greff pops off his sock and pulls off the ring. Slowly his height doesn't really change, but he grows back his hair, and the tribal marking of the Goliath leave his body as a weird little mark kind of appears over his...
That's right, yeah. It's around one of his eyes.
Yeah.
From Helseth.
And his skin grows darker.
She takes a few steps back and she just kind of literally studies you from top to bottom. Okay. I don't appreciate being lied to, Greff. So I'm a spy.
It's not like I wanted to lie to you. You know that, right?
I know. And I probably would have stabbed you at least once before I sent you back.
And back then I was a weakling. Who knows what a single stab from you would have done to me? Today, I'd even give you two chances and I'm pretty sure I'd still be standing.
She gives you a wry smile.
Bet.
Greff like puts his hand over like his vulnerable areas. It's like,
She looks at the single dagger in her single hand and she's like, maybe on my better days. Okay. We're not okay, but we're okay.
Why did you stand up for me back then?
It is up to you, Aethel,
Mm-hmm.
if you want Tawree to see you as a human or not.
I think it's fine at this point. I don't mind.
Okay. There you go. You now see Greff as you see a human standing in front of Adlov.
Sitting.
Looking kind of sheepish and protecting his vulnerable areas.
I'm imagining he's been sitting the entire time. Like he sat up after Adlov threatened him because there's no reason to stand.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tawree comes in and sees them there on the floor.
Starts stabbing him.
Assuming it's probably Kaz.
Yeah, she looks at Greff, looks around to find Kith, and are there any features on you that I wouldn't recognize you as Greff?
No, like really only the size.
What about the weapon?
Are you not wearing?
Well, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
True. I'm wearing weapons and clothes.
And
but
armor.
did you not take them off when sleeping or something? Or like?
Oh, yeah,
you would
true.
probably have them on a heap beside you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Tawree.
He sounds exactly the same.
She looks at the heap of armor beside you, shakes her head, and goes to wake the next person.
Okay.
You see too much weird shit for this to be a problem.
I'm not going to ask.
Good call.
I think Tawree is at this point just tired.
Yeah, fair.
Is anything going to surprise you more than Greff earlier doing it for the vine?
All right, that needs to be the episode name.
The subtitle for this episode.
What is
I mean, you were communicating with the tentacle monsters.
True. Oh my god. She puts the dagger away and she says, I guess we better wake the other two.
I think that's Kith and Baracus?
Yep. Ivoris.
Aren't you the last? How many watches did we agree upon?
Adolf did the middle one. We fucked it up somehow. So Adolf did the middle one with Ivoris and Kith at the end.
What about Baracus?
Baracus not having a shift.
Okay.
He wasn't mentioned.
Okay.
Yeah.
You said too much pain.
Yes. Can't shout. Might be a problem. Not a fighter. Might be a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Baracus does not give off fighter in any sense of the word. He gives off like pure politician. Like, yeah. This is why he has a bodyguard.
And Tawree goes to wake up Kith and Ivoris.
Yeah. Adlov like goes over and like gives like Kith a bit of a kick, and then she curls up in a ball back in the corner right next to Red Knight. She's still like some distance away from Greff, but like not openly ignoring him anymore. All right. Ivoris and Kaz. You said you're a part transformed. We still going with Kith for now?
Yeah, still Kith.
All right. Kith and Ivoris.
Hi.
I would like both of you to roll perception rolls, please.
Okay. 30-20.
6.
God damn it. And a 6. Well, a 6 notices nothing.
Oh, but V.
No.
I like that boulder. That is a nice boulder.
Nice boulder. You notice that the plants outside of the mansion itself seem to be growing and they seem to be shifting, and it seems like they're very much more able to move in the darkness. But it comes in spits and spurts. Like there'll be bits of this moving and then suddenly this moving, but not enough to make it inside the house at this point.
Okay.
You notice that the snow is coming down very heavily now, and those plants seem to be like, I'm going to say shivering. No, they're going to be shivering. You can see them shivering. Yeah, that is really all that happens for you two. There's no major event unless you guys want to commune with whatever you wish to commune with. If you wish to start stabbing things, that is your choice, or exploring, that is entirely up to you folks. What do you want to do?
Go ahead, Neil.
Is there like material to start like a fire? Because I have like firebolt and whatnot. Can I keep something burning?
Yeah, there's plenty of plants. Yes, there's like some like
I
old
don't want to
furniture
hurt the
left over,
plants.
but it's
I
not
actually want to help
really...
the plants. I don't care about the fire myself, but like I want to put a fire in here so that the plants can like chill for a minute.
Okay,
Or
chill.
heat up for a minute.
The opposite of chill.
Hot.
They look uncomfortable.
Yeah, there's like some like bits and pieces and debris around which you probably could set on fire and keep going probably pretty easily. There's not a lot of it, but it would at least get you to sun up.
Yeah, why not? And then we have a fire for any breakfast stuff that anyone wants to do already going.
Okay. All right. I would like all of you to hit your long rest buttons.
Hooray!
Literally
Always
did
poisoning
nothing.
and stabbing.
When's the
I
last
need to
time?
I need to commune first.
Yes, commune first. We may interrupt you before you finish communing. Continue.
Okay. At some point, just while taking the watch, Kith just more so mentally, but probably also in like a whisper, is like, "Hey, Shantae, so do demon plants fall under your purview, or is that?"
Well, kind of yes, kind of no.
Okay, because they didn't seem to really.
For sure.
They weren't into it when I was mentioning your name. I was hoping that might get me somewhere, but
Yeah. So, kind of like how I make sure that there are sunflowers and I make sure that there's wheat and how I make sure that the farmers grow the good things. There's always like a balance to that sort of thing. And, as you know, some plants have sentient ways to commune with them. And well, when they're going to Bellum, the same thing happens to them as it happens to souls, really. So they kind of were under me, and now they're kind of under Bellum. So you might be able to commune with them and maybe sway them towards our goals, but maybe not. Mostly not, actually.
Mostly not. Okay.
Yeah.
So should I not bother trying, or...
I think maybe just let them be. I don't really know what that sigil is, to be honest.
Okay, God doesn't...
And the Traveller doesn't either.
know it.
Like, we've been trying to think about it and research it, but none of us really know it. It's kind of like super old magic. And I think that is correct in saying that thing is holding them back and stopping them from progressing any faster or any longer, but that's not something that you need to worry about right now.
Okay, so I'm going to prepare one spell just in case. Okay.
Okay.
Great.
Can I help?
Cool. I'm horrified. Great.
Oh, no, don't be horrified.
Too late. A little too late.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. All right. Cool. All right, that's it. That helps to determine what spell I'm preparing. I did not prepare Speak with Plants, but I did prepare Blight.
Choice.
Who's the one cutting plants and starting shit now?
No. He's just going to bring it if they bring it.
That's exactly it. I'm not going to go attack it, but if they decide, fuck you, I have a spell that's a literal, oh, you're a plant. Fuck you.
I fall so other people can walk. Like, what can I say?
I won't shoot first, but I'll fucking end that real quick.
Oh boy. Okay, the sun comes up. The snow itself is beginning to slow down. It's still heavy, and it's much heavier than you would expect during like a normal winter fall, especially in the middle of the desert. But it's, it is the one day of the year in which snow will fall in the desert. That's kind of how the morning goes, really. Right up until the vines shake and change color, but they don't do anything else. And it seems to be a tremendous effort to do this. And then they return back to their normal color.
What color did they change to?
The affirmation color.
Ah, shit.
Red?
No,
I think it was red.
Blood red of their enemies. No.
Greff shoots up and like, I don't know if that was the plant doing what I asked it for, but I asked it to let us know if there was somebody else approaching us. And that was the signal, so somebody's here. Somebody, not us.
All right, Burkus, you and I, we're going to split and we're going to find out where the teleport thing is. You guys do whatever the fuck you want to do. Come on. And with that, Red Knight literally just grabs hold of Baracus's arm, who just kind of like looks a little wide-eyed, and will just follow Red Knight wherever they take them.
Wait, teleport thing, I want to go. Get me out of this life.
No, you stay here with us.
I don't want to be here.
Unless you can fit in a 3-foot box.
I mean,
Jesus Christ.
actually, I could.
No,
You could.
Stop giving him outs.
I'd have to do that 3 times. Right now.
Actually, I could. Wait, 1, 2.
In 10 minutes of time each.
I can make 2 of you that small. And myself.
Oh, gosh. Okay, right. They are going to Sylvana. I'm not. So I will have to wait anyway, if I understand them correctly. Where are you going from here? What's your plan?
We don't have anyone to teleport us, but I have...
You can go with them right now and go to Sylvana, but I can't.
Why can't you go to Sylvana?
Where are you going?
I have to go back to the capital.
That sounds like a really bad idea.
It's pretty dangerous, yes, but Arliss is kind of relying on me to get back.
How's he doing, by the way? I miss him.
No, not the time for this. I think the
Bit more
cleric's like...
stabbed than before. He's in a particularly bad situation.
Okay, that answer was quite disarming. Okay.
You might, Greff.
Okay, so
I'm not sure we're quite friends yet. You can't just be... Yeah, that's fine. It's funny.
I think the cleric is... Do we need to ambush him?
I don't think we can.
Well, they're only expecting me and the other two.
If we're lucky.
Unless he did what I thought he did and I've led him directly to you.
Well,
He's not our biggest fan, that's for sure.
No, by all accounts, you rather pissed him off. Do I want to know what you did?
let's just say he has some slippy fingers.
We're protecting the world from devastation.
We're going to unite
So
both.
this is Ivoris' fault.
I mean, Ivoris is the leader, technically.
No, not.
Well,
We need...
I need to hang around for another day, but you don't necessarily have to. The four of you can leave.
You need to stay here and be attacked by this thing coming to kill us right now.
I have managed to evade it for these mount days so far.
How
I can
about
probably
I
continue to do the
send
same.
you to who you need to go to in a box, and then we all leave.
I am not opposed to that, but we should catch up after the other two
Yes.
right now if that is
Okay.
our plan.
Let's
Okay,
hustle.
we can all leave.
let's just leave this loser alone in the
I
desert.
use
Fuck
one
him.
box spell, or we stay and fight and use more spells. I'm going to use one box spell. Let's
But
go.
if we stay and fight, the end result won't just be Adnolov is in the capital. The end result will hopefully be a dead cleric of Callanward. No, dead cleric of motherfucking Blissful Eclipse. Who
Formerly
is
known as
hunt-
Kellamvor.
Who is, by the way, hunting us like we're some like rabid pack of dogs, and he's like a dog catcher.
But if we can just XP grind a little more.
You know what? I like that.
You said you could fit more than one person in the box.
Well, the box is as big as you've seen. And
No, Kaz, Kith.
Shh. Kith. Can't be doing that.
Choose names
other
that are
two.
less similar.
I'm
Yes.
sorry.
What is your Adenov is basically chasing down like through this mansion area into like the West Wing. She's following whatever footprints are being left behind by Baracus. It's fairly easy to follow for all of them.
Right.
But she's like fucking booking it. But it seems obvious that the strides of Red Knight are much further apart than you would normally have guessed from running. They seem to be going really fast. She says, "What is your plan? Where are you going? If we can get the other two to Shilvana, in fact, if we can get the other two to Helsif, it saves a lot of problems. And then we can just go wherever, and then you can send me to wherever tomorrow."
Honestly,
are we still safe to talk? We don't have anyone.
I don't know if anyone is watching me. I haven't felt anything in a while, but this particular place is not protected, but I think where they're going is.
then let's
okay.
follow them.
Well, we just have a way out, but we need a teleporter to get us there. And so, I mean, we can ultimately find that anywhere. We just need to get safe now. We had a way out of Kino.
You mentioned that before.
We are quite wanted now.
Yeah, you find like one room and it has like this it has a hatch that has been clearly thrown open and there's like a ladder that leads down. And she's just basically just grabbing the rails with one hand and just like hopping her way down with that. Well, if your plan is to leave, then go with the others and send me to the capital.
Okay. Box.
Right.
Who would you like to go to? Alice?
Oh, fuck no, that's probably not a good idea. Yes, Arliss. That's the only one I vaguely trust. Oh, God.
Well, he will know
Is Alice
what's
my
in the
friend?
box before he opens it. That is true. Alice did remove your hand, did he not? You said you were meeting him. Why are you doing that? Maybe it's not smart that I send you in a box to him.
He helped us to get Baracus out. I feel like we kind of owe him. Kel's tried to kill him in the middle of the night.
So you're going to the capital to give the person who took your hand a favor?
Yes. if we can take Kells out, then that's what I'm going to do. She won't expect to see me at all, especially after Alice removed my hand.
You're gonna... Alright, we need to talk somewhere safer really quick before we send you away in a box to the person who tried to kill you before.
It sounds to me like we're going to send you away in a box and then we're going to get you back in a box.
Well, that's not my plan. I would be sent to you anyway. I'd probably be sent to my brother or something.
There's
As a
something...
zombie.
There's something else potentially on its way there right now.
Do you care to fill me in on what that might be?
Are we safe? Extremely super 100% sure. We're safe because I've been kind of vague intentionally, really.
I don't bloody know. Can you still contact your gods?
Yeah, I think.
Well, then no.
Well, Kels is probably going to know by now anyways. The dragon is out. It's on its way. It's pissed.
Adolf kind of like skids to a halt. I'm sorry, what?
Yes, Kels is going to know that the dragon that Kels had captured and was keeping under the forge of the world.
I clearly am exhausted. A dragon. They're not real.
You might be surprised at the capital if I send you there in a box unprepared, so I'm glad that we have had this talk.
Right.
In fact, maybe you should wait it out.
Well, no. There's no point me waiting it out. I'm as fit and healthy as I'm gonna be, and the element of surprise and whatnot. Dragon?
I know, right?
But
Yep.
I heard rumor.
Yep.
That there was one in Symphona, but
Nope, different one.
Yeah, no, this is a different one we asked.
she's like slowly walking backwards, like 2 dragons. 2. Shit. Okay, well.
To be fair, the dragon thought that it was the only one left too, so.
Okay. Right. That changes things a tiny amount, but doesn't change my need to go and kill Kells.
Okay. Well, good luck with the person who tried to kill you before. Things sound rather complicated.
He tried.
Do you think...
He didn't get my hand. He didn't get me. So he tried.
Well, sending you in a box is a pretty good way for him to get another shot at it.
No, there's no, you're right. All this is too obvious. Shit. Do any of you have anyone I could trust?
Connection in the capital.
Sarissa?
Yes.
Ivoris looks at Kaz. Perhaps the Shelly one.
Yeah, Shelley would be a good option.
I think Shelley never wanted to go to the capital ever again, and you had to remember, fucked him a goal to be there.
That's true. That's
Okay.
true. Thanks, God.
Do we know anyone from the capital at all? 'Cause we
What
kinda just
about
went up there to blow
Azed? What
something
happened
up.
to him?
Who?
Azed? Oh no,
he's
Azed
gone.
left.
Zed's
Kino.
in.
He went
Zed's
to
leaving.
Discord.
Shit.
This may be a dumb question, but should we not be going to the capital with you?
That sounds like a terrible idea. We're wanted.
I guess the real question is if you can all hide well enough. I can make myself literally invisible. And I can also change my appearance in other ways. I mean, Tawree, you are fairly unknown. You'd blend right in, but you two, and she looks at Greff and at Ivoris, like, you're both pretty well known there.
Actually, I just got a makeover. So, still kind of recognizable. The eye kind of gives it
Yes.
away. But I think I might be
Yes.
able to do some more kind of tips and tricks to hide better rather easily. Maybe.
I mean, I've got nothing. I just don't want you to go alone. Especially not with him.
Who? Kels? No, she's fine.
No,
I can take her, no problem.
Alice.
Alice is fine.
Is Olus really going to try to kill Kels?
He got Baracus out, and
now he needs a new sacrifice to prove how good he is.
no, he might be the sacrifice. You may have noticed the iconography.
The what?
Ilmater.
Yeah.
He's faithful, and he turned against the direction of Kells to save Baracus and me, and Red Knight, who is pretty important these days.
We don't really have time to talk this over.
No, we don't. Look, let us all go to Shovana, and I was not expecting to be there today anyway.
That
We just
sounds
need
like
somewhere
a plan.
good to hide.
Well, we can hide by continuously moving around.
Actually, I have a little place just outside of town. It's pretty well hidden. Okay, all right. My home is a mess. Please don't judge. And she basically takes off running. A little ways ahead, you can hear the sound of Red Knight as they're casting a spell. You can hear them using a lot of basically, some of you have probably heard and seen teleportation spells before. Some of you may have not. And you can see that he is preparing one now. He himself doesn't have the magic necessary to do this. But you can see that as you basically go through this underground passageway and you turn corners and you go in the wrong direction and come back again, and you finally see him at the end of this long corridor. Ahead of you on the wall, you see a very big circle that has been drawn in this kind of very fine powder up against the wall, and it's very pale in color, and the circle is created of loads of tiny little runes. You can see that on the right hand side of him there are these kind of racks of empty potion vials, and he's reached over and he's grabbed and they've reached over and they've grabbed one, and they're holding it as they're reading from this scroll, and you can see the potion itself beginning to glow. You see them lift it high in the air and throw the potion at the wall. Before you see this circle that once was just stone now turn into a very shimmering portal. And you can see this very small wooden room that has kind of home-crafted tables and chairs. And you can see there's a lot of clothes lying around. You can see there's a lot of paperwork here and there. You can see dishes are piled up in the sink sort of thing. This place is a shithole. And you see that room appear. And as Red Knight turns up and they look at you, and as Baracus turns to you and sees the 5 of you running and Ultra behind, they just look slightly surprised and they say, well, I guess your home is your home? Come on, bloody hurry up. And you see them take hold of Baracus's arm and they jump through the portal, and you see them kind of rolling forward with the momentum, and you can see tables getting knocked and chairs getting knocked out of the way as they kind of land in there. It seems that the force of passing through is much stronger than the normal walk. So you guys running into this portal is going to have some consequences.
Tuck and roll.
Yep,
boy.
that is exactly what Adlanov does. She makes it very abundant as she's running towards it. I don't think this is going to stay open very long. And she just runs and jumps through. You can see that she ends up halfway into a cabinet, shattering around her. Are you 4 passing through?
I don't see why not.
Better than the
yes.
alternative.
I'm following them. Yeah.
As much as I want to go kick some cleric ass, I don't think this is the right time. This is neither the time nor the
Okay.
place.
I would like all 4 of you to please roll 4d6.
Oh. Scatter to the winds we are.
Is that just
Yes.
that /roll or something? Roll.
Yeah, /roll space 4d6.
Oh, that's not bad.
There we go. 10,
I'm a little bit stressed because this sounds
10.
like teleporting chicanery.
It sounds like I'm fucking with stuff, yeah. Like this is not a normal teleportation spell. There's some chaos related to this. Okay, so as Greff goes tumbling through the portal, what does that look like as you smash into the wall for 12 damage?
What? I think it looks as dumb as it sounds. Like Greff completely fails to do any kind of real kind of tumble. He just kind of face flats against the ground and slits into the wall.
So he goes face first and then his head hits the wall?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
There's that squeaky noise of his
Tawree.
face dragging.
Tawree jumps.
That would imply that the floors are clean. Tawree, how does it look when you tumble into this room for 10
Tawree
damage?
jumps after Greff, and at first she tries to jump over Greff, who has already landed on the. But then she stumbles over like a piece of armor or something, and crashes face first into, I don't know, a cupboard or whatever standing around there.
Oh, all right, Ivoris, what does it look like for 10 damage?
Ivoris is surprised at everyone being injured in heaps in front of him, and kind of tries to step up so that he's not like stepping on anyone, and bumps his head, and then in holding his head and backing up, he just kind of bumps his head on something else and just falls down and lays down.
That is ridiculous. I love it. And finally, Kith.
Kith is just the icing on the cake, going through the portal, tripping on something and just slamming on top of someone else.
Barker's underneath you is like silently just like cursing you, just like trying to get you off him.
Sorry. Ow, you're so bony. Ow, fuck.
Do you mind?
Sorry.
All right. With that, the four of you plus Adenlov, Baracus, and Red Knight are in this small wooden single room house. It's very small. Looking at the windows around you, there are only two of them in this room, and you can see that you're in like a very small clearing within a forest. You can see that the snow is quite high outside. It is coming down even harder here than it was in the desert. But you kind of recognize-ish the area that you're in. Like, this is definitely some of the forests that are north of Shilvana, even north of the mine itself. And that's where you find yourselves.
All right. How long do you think we have before we have to move on?
Well, we're not particularly protected here from anything that wants to scry, but we have things here that we can use to change ourselves and get ourselves other places. Well, actually, if you don't mind, I'm going to take Baracus here and we're going to head off to Elsiv's Island. Is the dock still north of the mine? And, like, Adelof nods. It's like, there should be a boat there, last I saw. There should be one there. You should be able to row your way across. Helsiv should be able to see you coming, no problem. All right. Well, thank you all very much for getting us this far. We probably would have literally died in the desert without you, so thank you.
Stay safe out there. And I'm sorry I broke into your country, Baracus.
Have you put the ring back on?
I'm assuming not.
What?
Oh, okay. Baracus kind of like, it's the first time he's actually had a chance to absorb the change because he was asleep last night and then was woken up with "get the fuck out of here." He nods a couple of times, expresses his gratitude, and then offers a hand to each of you, including Greff.
Oh.
And with that, he and the companion, they both leave and they head north towards the area that you suspect that the dock that some of you have seen before is. Yeah. Well, okay. Well, now that they're off and safe and sound, you don't have to do this. You have a way out of Kino you should go. I have a friend of a friend who kind of owes me a bit of a favor. They should be able to teleport me to to the capital. But this could be the end of the line for some of us if we go en masse.
What do we know about Kells?
Kells is a necromancer who was torn to pieces 5,000 years ago and placed into different objects and a host. The assembly was put together so that each of those individual pieces could be easily found and put back together when the time came. If I understand it correctly, the assembly did their job to a point. The blissful eclipse got involved, I think, somewhere between 120 and 180 years ago. I'm not 100% on those details, but that's as good a guess as I could get. She was put back together, and the host that she was in died. That sister of the host has disappeared, and by all rumours, they possibly went to Discora. The brother, you know, Ennis, I believe you punched him in the face at least once. Kells is a very strong necromancer. She has the ability to keep things undead far longer than most and raise more than she needs to. She knows the spell to kill things that exist on the sentient plane. I know that she requires people of faith to do this. Something made from a stone. Not sure what kind.
Alchemist stone.
Sounds roughly right. That's kind of all that I really have.
A hero from 5,000 years ago, resurrected today, seems to have a grudge with the gods.
Yes. Well, if you were ripped into 7 pieces, wouldn't you have a grudge against the gods?
Now, you said that Alice was going to be killed.
Alice is... Alice presents himself as a man of faith to Ilmeta. If she requires someone of faith, and he has betrayed her, which he has, I actually fear for his safety. And the quicker we can get Kells out of the equation, the better. I know that he thinks he can get more information from her, learn more about their plans, what the Blissful Eclipse is planning, how they're going to end this world. I know he thinks he can get more.
Perhaps we should get everything that could be used by her away from her. Alice as well.
I would like to kill her, but if we can, at least relieve her
Perhaps we should see what options we have while the dragon keeps it busy.
There you go with that dragon word again. Yeah.
Excuse me. We should probably actually have code words for such things.
The big D.
I'm trying not to say that.
Well,
Greff.
I stumble so others can walk.
I didn't actually hear what you said.
I said the big D.
Right. I feel like that's not a phrase I'm going to use naturally in conversation.
While
Greff.
Kells is dealing with a big D, we can maybe come at them unprepared. They'll be so exhausted from dealing with the big D, they might not even see us coming.
Greff.
Neil, put this in the bloopers. I will
This
fucking
is the new
riot.
plan. What do you mean I have to leave this whole thing in? It's the new plan.
No, just the big D part. Just the big D part. I'm sorry.
Okay, well...
Okay, sorry.
Okay,
The dragon is coming to attack Kells. This is the perfect time for all of us.
Okay. Let us get to the capital.
You know why they're
You two
mad
need
at
to
us,
disguise
right?
yourselves. They're mad at the pair of you. Greff, yes, you don't look like you did before, but you cannot look like that.
Let me.
The orb
sorry.
you were describing, we got rid of it.
You did?
We took apparently the last one that they had from the cleric, which is why he's trying to get us. As long as they don't have that, then I think they don't have one of the things that they need. And if all this is another component of the things that they need, then even if they have an additional thing, shouldn't we try to always
Rescue
be
Olis.
getting rid of the things that they need? Well, not getting rid
By
of them.
rescuing him.
Well, yes.
Yes.
Or killing him.
Right.
Rescuing.
No.
Iris
Look,
is
killing
giving
is the
that like,
last
I'm
option.
kidding face.
Okay, good. Rescuing him.
I actually think that's a good point. We don't know if they have webs of creation, as they're called. They need the alchemist stones to make that, and we luckily got rid of 2 of them, and 1 of them got stolen.
Right. Okay. Right.
And as far as we know, only 3 supposedly exist in all of Discora, so... No,
I think
all
half of
Thicron.
them are probably somewhere very far from here by now.
Yeah, I
At
think
least.
half of them are probably in Discora. Okay, let us figure out how to disguise you two. Greff, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to ask you to put your ring back on.
It's okay.
I mean, you look fine as you are, but you're amongst friends, and you would...
Nah. The world's not ready for the real Greff just yet.
Greff, I'm not sure I'm ready for the real Greff right now. And at that point, the bunny also does the ear bunny.
Greff, for what it's worth, Greff, I appreciate seeing you like this, okay?
Thank you.
It's like when I
Hopefully
used to
when-
be back home. Just, not quite the same. You don't really have the milky eyes thing that we do, but, you know, besides that...
I actually find it a lot easier to read your expression, actually.
Thank you, Kath. I like being myself, and hopefully one day we can all just be ourselves. But that's not today, he says, as he takes off his sock.
All right, we'll disguise ourselves our best that we can. We'll meet with my contact in Shovana, and we'll get ourselves to the capital, and we'll assess the situation from there. I would not be doing... Look, I'm not your three's boss anymore, and Tawree, I've barely met you.
I think it's safe to say we're fired.
Yes. So I'm not your boss anymore. I can't order you not to go, and I can't order you to go. But I would like to think that you're my friends. I don't want you to go. This is going to be very dangerous. Especially if the plan is to extract versus killing Kells. One is significantly less death, I think. Or at least death is accepting. If one were to kill Kells, that's fine. But extracting someone like Arliss may be difficult. He may not even want to come. I'm just saying, if you don't want to go, I'd understand. Especially if there is a dragon on the way.
During the dragon attack, I think it's the right time for us to rush to save Arliss. And whatever happens during the dragon attack, that is when Kells will be the most vulnerable. I believe we can do both. Because I believe even if we kill Kells, from what I've seen with the political types, there's always somebody below them that just wants to imitate them. We get rid of Kells and some bookworm from below him will try to finish his plans.
I appreciate the boldness of your plan. I'm guessing I am probably not going to be able to talk you out of coming with me.
Not me. We already infiltrated and fought the UNT.
You already infiltrated Kino and fought Kino folk. I think you'll probably be fine.
That was the easy part.
Shut up.
I need to check some things before I give my answer.
Okay. I understand.
Just give me a few.
Okay.
Kith steps
Ivoris?
outside, I'm going to say.
Okay. I'll circle back to you in like 3 seconds. Ivoris?
I don't suspect it's going to be as easy as putting all this in a 3-foot box.
Well, I think that our druid friend could probably shrink him down whether he liked it or not.
Depends if he wants it. Otherwise, it's a problem.
We could persuade him.
Greff, I think it's worth pointing out that you are one of the few people who could probably figure out what's going on the other side, and if there's any help coming.
That's actually an annoyingly good point.
There are
I'm gonna give
resources
you
that seem unorganized.
Folks, a few minutes. I'm going to give you folks some time to think. I'll just be outside. Join me when you have an answer. And she leaves. She kind of like nods at Kith, and she kind of walks around the side of the building and sort of out of view. So she's nearby, but not in earshot.
Okay, so we have two choices.
Greff, if we go, you have to make it out alive. You're a resource at this point.
I understand, but we're always gonna be fine. His face really drops when he says that. It's just
Were we really sure before that the dragon was going to be fine?
No. I don't know what to do exactly right now. I really want to go home. I desperately want to go home, Ivoris.
Greff, I thought that was the plan. No offense.
It was the plan before Adnoloff showed up, and she's gonna throw her life away fighting fucking Kells. Trying to save all this.
Trying to save Ilmater. Perhaps. Our focus should be dwindling their resources, so that any form of organization that we try to do is meaningful whatsoever. And we've done that. Getting all this away from there is one apparently important resource, one important thing that we could take away from them. But I don't think that we should throw away a chance at helping organize anymore. We haven't talked to the assembly. They are unorganized. We haven't talked to Discora. They are unorganized. Perhaps. They're not here. They're not where they need to be. It's going to take more than one person, more than 4 people, more than 5 people, more than a dragon. We did not suspect the dragon would be any more than a distraction anyhow. If we don't have that hope for the dragon, what hope do we have that we will be able to do this?
Do we?
We need to figure out where we need to focus our resource.
I think Discora is ready. I think Empress Opella has probably made a lot of headway since I left. I don't know what her take on this will be, but...
Greff, I could put you in a box right now and you could find out. There's so much to do, and we are only just now learning how to accomplish these things. I could do half of all the magic that I could do now before.
Fine, let's not do anything overly dangerous. Let's not do anything overly... Let's get all this out of their hands, and then let's see if we can't unite Discord against them. Against her. Against the initiative. What do you think is the most prudent course of actions?
I just see a lot of unorganization. And it just frustrates me that there are people that know what's going on and they can't do anything about it. All those people need to be in one place. They need to be organized to attack the thing. Not just one dragon angry at something that's been around perhaps longer than the dragon itself. Something growing in power, much like Yanti, much like perhaps beyond dragons even. Years of power that people do things like travel the world for, Greff. People do wild things for. But she's had so much more time than you and I.
Yeah.
It's going to be numbers. We don't have them.
And let's get those numbers. Annalov is capable. If she doesn't do anything stupid like attacking cows, if she just saves Ollus, we can try to...
We need to get Ollus away. It's a resource that we can't allow them.
Let's get Ollus away. Let's get him to the assembly. Let's get the assembly to unite itself, to have a focus. And then let's get our asses to Discora. Let's get all of those idiots who sit on thrones and pine over dumb, useless things to actually pine over something important.
If we can figure that out, then I think it's the best that we've got.
Okay. Kith. You basically hear and you see like Adenov just very quickly walk by and walk around the other side of the building, but otherwise you find yourself in this clearing. The snow is still coming down pretty hard. It's kind of like ankle high, I guess, but there are plenty of trees around, and you can see like some of the birds struggling to fly in the snow above you. What do you want to do?
Kith is going to grab just like a branch or something like that and just kind of dust away the snow so that there's a nice little area to sit down. Probably like directly underneath the tree.
Yeah.
And Kith is just going to sit there leaning up against the trunk of the tree and probably entirely mentally this time, just to avoid any eavesdropping. So what do you guys think?
If we are honest, fighting is not your strong suit, but helping is. You could help whatever direction you pick. All roads will lead to you doing great things. Whether you wish to stand with Adenov against Kells or possibly rescue this Ollus, or whether you wish to travel back home, or to Discora and tell tales and make them understand. You've done what we needed.
Yeah, and we will help you the best that we can. Whatever path you pick. There is a darker path that you could pick, and we don't... Neither of us really want to ask you to do it, because we don't want to see you die.
Why would I die?
Well, it's a path that means that the Traveller or myself could leave this planet, or leave our existence rather, and take the fight to the blissful eclipse, but you haven't chosen one of us, and that's good. And you're not a fighter. But if you want to fight, then I think going to a place where a dragon might be is a good fight. I mean, that's entirely up to you.
I'm not a fighter. That much is true. To this day, I'd rather be back home just tending to my farm.
You could still do that. You could travel back home, or you could create a new farm in a new place with new people and help them live and grow.
I wouldn't be able to live with myself. Not with how the world is and how things are going. Knowing that I can do something and not doing it because I'd rather do something else is...
Selfish.
Yeah.
It won't always be like this if you choose this path. You may not be a fighter, but you are a healer, a helper. You aid people. Sometimes you're a criminal, but that's part of your charm.
Sometimes you have to do bad things for good reasons.
Yeah. Keeps life interesting. Whatever path you choose, we will support you and help you best that we can.
Let me just ask
You just have to pick one.
this first.
Yes?
If we go to the capital, and whether it be fighting Kells or just trying to get Olith out, if I were captured, do I count? Would they be able to attack one of you?
Yes. But they don't have a relic of either of ours. And they would require that also. We have people out there looking for them already, to keep them safe. And so far as both of us know and are aware, they are. You would be useless to them without that.
I think I have to make a choice then. And in either case, if I can make it so that one of you can help, if it's within my power, it would be selfish of me not to.
Are you referring to choosing between us?
Yes.
No, you don't have to. You'd only have to choose if you wanted to take that other path. But neither of us really want you to do that.
Would it help?
If 7 became 6, maybe.
Don't discount it then.
It is not something you have to choose right now.
And maybe you never have to choose at all.
If it comes down to it, and it has to be done, please tell me.
We will.
Kith gets up, probably wiping off a bit of snow off the shoulders and on the legs and everything.
Yeah.
Goes back inside. Probably grabs Adnov along the way. It's just,
I thought I'd actually give you folks time to decide what you're to do without me hovering.
Oh, that's fair. Okay.
Tawree. What are you doing in all this chaos? I'm assuming that Ivoris and Greff are being super emotional in one corner.
I was giving them some space,
This room.
but like I kept listening in just to like get a better layout of the situation, because some of the stuff with Ollis didn't really make sense to Tawree until then.
Yeah.
So she's definitely coming along. I mean, that's why she's here. She wants to make sure that this world is still livable for her kids. And
Oh,
yes, no idea about politics, so
Yeah.
But
All right, that's
she also knows that these people kind of have an idea what's going on.
fair.
Yeah.
All right. Shortly after Kith arrives back in, like Adenov just kind of like opens the door and like you see she's shivering a little bit. She hadn't really put in anything on extra since she's come back from the desert. Immediately she starts like grabbing clothes that have been thrown on the floor and like pulling trousers on and like jackets and shit. And when she's finished, she kind of looks at the four of you and she says, "So am I arranging for you to go to where you need, and me getting in a box, or are you coming with?"
Me and Ivoris were talking, and we think getting Alice out of their hand is the most important thing right now. And
Okay.
we think it's more important to return him to the assembly and organize them. And then
Organize the assembly.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
We need
Well-
to get everyone who knows what's going on and can do anything about it in one place. And that
Right.
also includes getting someone, like signaling to Greff, to a place where they can maybe talk sense into the other side who needs to come give us help. If we didn't have hope for the
Right.
dragon to take on Kel's Adnalov, we don't think that it's smart to take Kel's on. But
I understand.
Alice can't be there. We need
Baracus
to
and
focus on taking away their resources and organizing ours.
Baracus and Red Knight are going to Helsif because Helsif is able to more freely travel to Discora. Helsif is going to get in contact with the leaders there and bring them together. Helsif has sent a few people to the Discora already, if I understand correctly, to let people know what's going on. Get people to work together. It's a bit of a shitstorm over there, but they are trying. Baracus is going to hopefully meet with the leaders of Discora and talk to them about how to stop this.
But you and Alice think it's a good idea to throw it all away here. While so much is being done to organize in the future. All because Alice has been found out.
Potentially. I'm hoping he hasn't, but if he has, he's in danger. And either way, you're right, we should get him out of that picture. We can try, with his help, to get the assembly to work together, to bring Kells down as one big group. We can work here in Kino while Baracus goes and speaks on our behalf with the other side.
Perhaps, honestly, we need the assembly to be nothing more than a communication, a point of contact between Discora and here. Because right now our government is not that. We need someone who can represent the people who know what we need to do here.
And I think you're also right about getting Greff to those talks if possible. You've seen it from both sides.
Yeah.
Okay. And what about you, Tawree?
I'm coming along. Do whatever needs to be done to defeat that. What is coming?
Well, if these three trust you, I trust you. Whatever you need. And Kith, my old friend.
I agree with that as much as I think that getting Olith out is probably a good idea. but I'm not a fighter, not the same way. But extraction is something I can do. And
Okay.
after that, I think that if we can increase our chances of saving this world and not dying an early death for no reason whatsoever, I'm on board for that.
Right. No dying. We focus on extraction. And we'll deal with kills when we have resources. Really want to stab a bit, yes. Okay. I'm afraid none of my stuff will fit you folks, actually. I'm sorry about that. Here. She reaches up and she takes the red scarf off and she hands it over to Greff. You're least able to hide. You're a Goliath, which is rare enough as it is, but you being a human would also get you killed. And I've changed my mind. I don't want you to be dead just yet. It'll take about an hour before you can probably use it, but I do want it back.
Okay.
Good. All right, let's get a move on. About an hour away.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for listening to episode 26 of Kino. Yeah, this was a pretty intense episode, and a lot of stupid stuff went down. I'm quite happy with it. I speak to the plants. I am the plant master. Me and the plants have a bond that most of you would not understand. All right. Look forward to the next episode. It's coming out in a month, and we've already recorded, and I can promise it's good. It's got stuff in it. All right. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed the show, feel free to review us anywhere you can. iTunes, Podchaser, or just shouting about us on Twitter. That would be very much appreciated. Other than that, there's really nothing to say. So thank you so much for listening and have a great month.
God damn it, Cassie.
Good delivery services are so hard to find these days.
Future us, the episode has to be called Return to Dendar. Please put this as a thing at the end so I remember to write it in my notes. Fucking amazing, Cassie.